welcome back to another episode of Girl Talk with Girl Spot, the podcast for a human and a gremlin, dedicated to talking about all things games, books, and movies. Today, we have two special guests. Well, I don't know where one of them is, but we have Booba Bunny 93 and hopefully Data, or DG.
Poor Data.
Or Data.
Poor Data. I said poor Data.
Poor Data. Said Data. Yes, poor Data.
Poor Data. Booble, introduce yourself.
Indeed. Hello, community. I am Booba Bunny 93. I am a variety streamer and TikTok content creator. Yeah, I do my own thing and let people come along for the ride.
Oh boy. I want to
Yeah,
ride.
it's a roller coaster that goes 90 miles an hour and there's no seatbelts except for one, but you gotta find out where it is.
Seatbelts. We don't need seatbelts. God, you think this is? GSG, we don't believe in seatbelts in Boople rides. God.
Of course
Got
not.
Raz Raid.
Razzie! Hello, Razzie. We love your face. Thank you for the raid. Raz was just waiting.
It's a conspiracy.
Dun, dun, dun.
We've got Brian and Kaylee. In the
Hi,
chat as
Kaylee.
well.
Brian, fuck yourself. No, I'm just kidding. Hi, Brian.
You probably like that too much.
Probably. He has timeless. He's fine.
It's fine. This is fine.
This is fine.
So, the topic of the day: conspiracy theories. And we're all gamers here. So, why
I'm not a gamer.
start? Liar. So we're gonna start with conspiracy theories related to video games.
Yee.
So, first we have Final Fantasy VIII. I think I rented that from Blockbuster once.
Oh my god, timeless
Later.
blockbuster.
Blockbuster.
Jesus.
From a
Aging all of
PlayStation
us.
2. Fun fact, Oregon had the last Blockbuster. It was in Boring.
Huh.
Final Fantasy VIII.
The
Back-
question is it still a thing?
What?
The question is it still a thing?
It is in Alaska. There's a very remote town in Alaska that has the last Blockbuster. Sorry, Tom.
Alaska. Can you just imagine Alaska trying to rent movies?
Right. So, back in the era of discs with minimal space, storage space, video games had to be played across multiple discs. Final Fantasy VIII took 4 discs.
Jesus Christ. It's a bit much.
Yeah. Big game.
Final Fantasy IX, I think, was the same.
I don't know anything about Final Fantasy IX.
Final Fantasy. Best Final Fantasy.
I've played
You
a bit
shut
of
your
8,
dirty mouth, Ark.
and I played a bit of the
I'm not lying
MMO.
though.
Yes, because 7's the best.
No.
Whichever one has Cloud.
So I have a conspiracy question for you all. Video game related. You know how, like in cartoons and movies and things, sorry, my neighbor's dog is going off, but, do you think that they do the same thing in TVs and movies as they would in video games in trying to send subliminal messages specifically to children?
Yes.
How so?
Probably.
It just makes
Like,
sense.
have you seen a game do it?
Especially now, not that I can recall. I can't remember half the games from my childhood. But, and now I don't play as many that are like that. But it would, if they're sending them through TV and cartoons, it only reasons that they would do it in a game where most kids, especially now, spend their time.
I think one game you could probably find it in, if you had to look for it seriously, would probably be Fortnite, because
Yep.
speaking as a substitute teacher, even as someone who works in an elementary school, primarily, that's one of the things they always hear from the kids is Fortnite, Fortnite, Fortnite. Occasionally Minecraft, but mostly Fortnite.
Yeah.
That would probably be where your subliminal messages.
And I imagine they would do it in the same manner as, like, you have, like, a framer, an unnoticeable frame or two in, like, a cutscene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
And considering Fortnite comes from China,
Oh, yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah. I hear a lot of kids talking about Fortnite. And didn't they just come out with some new oh yeah, Balenciaga, the like super expensive designer, came out with a Fortnite collab where you can get in-game outfits, but they're ridiculously expensive because it's Balenciaga.
yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. Fortnite has a story each set in each season to get kids more interested as it. I think that's with most games though. We mean like more darker messages.
Yeah.
I don't know the story of Fortnite because I could care less about Fortnite, to be honest. But
We're not talking about the story that you would see on the
Shut up,
We're talking
Timeless.
mostly about what you don't actually see.
yeah, it's loud. It doesn't say it's loud.
Brian also said it was hard to hear us.
That's weird. I turned it down. Let's turn you guys up. Good. Continue.
I think
Okay, Dad.
The Simpsons had a whole episode on subliminal messaging.
Simpsons
Where-
is subliminal messaging. All of it. Every single episode and season is
Yeah,
a subliminal
probably.
message.
They
Well,
had an
here's
episode
the-
about it though.
Here's the better question: is where are they getting their information from?
The Illuminati.
Because it's obvious that they know. Like they know before it happens, like decades before it happens. So I'm curious as to what the next seasons of The Simpsons or even Family Guy or all of them are gonna entail.
Matt Groening is
Very-
obviously a time traveler,
Yes.
and he goes into the future, and then he comes back and he writes Simpsons episodes back. That's it.
I agree with that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
He's from Portland too. He's behind Polybius.
Is he?
I don't know.
So, Timeless,
Oh.
I'm gonna let you take over that one because I don't know much about that.
Oh, we'll get to it.
Yeah, I don't know about that one either.
I know about that one because it's in my city. Which made it into an episode of The Simpsons, but we're gonna work our way to it.
Okay.
What?
She's excited for this one.
Yeah. So, conspiracy theories about things that happen in video games. Final Fantasy VIII, at the end of Disc 1, you defeat... I'm gonna butcher this name, I'm sure. You have to defeat Eddie? I don't know. I didn't play the game. Spencer! Hello, XR!
It's because we live in a simulation.
It's a fun theory, too. At the end of Disc 1 of Final Fantasy VIII, you face off against Eddie, however you say it. And the fight ends with that person seemingly defeated. She summons a large shard of ice and impales Squall, who I can only assume is the main character in this game, through the chest, and he falls back. and sees his love interest reaching out to him, and he seems to die. But then, Disc 2, Squall wakes up with no visible wounds. The theory is that everything that happens after that first disc is a what-if type fever dream. And he's actually dead for the whole rest of the game.
It's interesting. That's like
Yes, that is the character of Final Fantasy VIII.
Okay.
Link in Majora's Mask. That's the theory of Majora's Mask, where in the beginning of it you actually die, and then the whole game is basically you going through the stages of grief.
Oh. I haven't
You-
played Majora's.
Yeah, you see a lot of characters that were in Ocarina of Time, and that's the theory they came up with, was you actually died, and that's why you're seeing characters over and over again, how they got there, why certain things are happening, and you're basically accepting your death.
Well, yeah, because you see, when you beat Majora's Mask, in the end credits, you see a Deku Scrub mourning over a, basically a dead tree, what looks like a dead tree, but it's actually his son, or it's theorized to be his son.
Yep.
I'd have to find and show you and put it in the chat for you guys.
It's also my favorite Legend of Zelda game. Love that game.
Someday I will play it.
Just fucking play it, Timeless. Just fucking do it. What are you waiting for?
I don't.
There's this thing called an emulation, and it's free.
Actually, I think I heard that Nintendo is going to be adding Nintendo 64 games to Nintendo Online.
Brian,
so-
you're fucking boring. Stop it. I'm sorry that you don't like good games. It's okay.
There's also rumors that we're getting remasters of certain games, and there are new IPs for Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask among them. The two big ones that I've heard of are Wind Waker and Twilight.
Ugh,
Those are the
Wind
two that I've
Waker.
heard of.
Gross.
Yeah, I know you don't like Wind Waker, but a lot of people do.
I hate it so much.
He's mourning his son. The transformation must need a soul to transform you. So I'm going to switch
I'm
online.
looking
in a
for it
couple
now.
minutes.
I'm just trying to get to the point.
And Brian says Wind Waker was the only good one. I don't have an opinion because I've only really played Breath of the Wild.
You want to fight? Bite me. Breath of the Wild was really good.
Oh, I'll just say that Kiss has backup on the fight, so I'm just
Breath of the Wild is
gonna
really
put
good.
that out there.
I haven't come across any Legend of Zelda game that I haven't enjoyed at some point. Where is... Was it
Hey.
near the beginning of the credits, Kiss? Do you remember?
I can't remember. It's been so long since I played it.
There it is. I found it. This should be what me and Kiss were talking about. Yeah, it is. Because the thing with that video is that it when you do the transformation in the first place, is that it shows you that tree. And you also come across that tree when you're running through.
Yeah.
Which is how you know that there's at least some reference to death in that game.
For those wondering, Ark shared a video, the ending and credits for Majora's Mask.
I missed it. Here we can show it real quick.
Okay.
Do. Maybe.
Sorry, I was on mute. My neighbor's dog was losing his mind, and
Oh,
he
you're good.
still is.
Okay, I'm gonna watch a video. No, I'm not ready for you to play. Calm down.
Calm down, video!
Calm it down. Okay. Video. God, I love this game. I want to replay it. Look at my horse. My horse is amazing.
Did it we pass that area then? Or
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
it's at like 9:10. That's about the point where it could be.
And there's
Go
the
back and look.
carving. There's the carving with Lincoln.
Yeah, because it's before the fall. Yeah, it's at 9:10. It's a very short scene, but it
Yeah.
starts at 9:10. There it is. So yeah, that Deku,
Yeah.
that tree is his son.
Interesting.
And then what they explain, or what he explained, is that he used to race with his son, and when you're a Deku, you race with the Deku shrub, or the
Yeah.
Deku butler.
Mhm.
And it reminds him of his son. So you embody his son's spirit.
Yeah.
You also embody the spirit of, I can't remember the bassist's name. And then Darunia. Not Darunia? Not Darunia. No, not Darunia. There's also a Goron that you embody the spirit of.
Oh, I can't remember his name.
But that entire game, you're taking control, you're possessing people's spirit and
Yeah.
giving them new life. At least for a bit.
Yeah.
Body
Oh
the
my
spirit.
God.
Yeah.
For the love.
No. No Ahab. Jarvis, that's who it is. Jarvis is the Goron. I don't remember the Zora's name, but I remember
Isn't
the
it
Goron's name.
Isn't it Zola or something? Something with a Z.
Something like that.
You watch when he puts the transformation masks on. Link looks like he's in agony as they
He
take over his body.
sure
He
does.
does.
It's actually kind of creepy, to be honest.
It's
Nothing as
honestly
creepy as the
horrifying.
clone you can make of him.
Mikau.
Yeah. Fucking scary as shit.
Mikau's the one from Majora's Mask. It's honestly horrifying to watch this, like, 10-year-old boy, 11-year-old boy, go through all of this agony as he's put through these transformations.
Yeah.
And that's not even getting into the whole creepypasta thing with Ben Drowned.
Oh god, it was such a good creepypasta.
It was.
Which, by
I
the
think
way,
the
that's
boy
actually an
that
ARG.
game- And what?
Ben Drowned has an ARG, by the way, Kiss.
I don't know what that is.
Alternate reality game.
Reality game.
Oh, that would be interesting.
It had an entire thing. It was interesting to read. But yeah, that's not getting into the stuff, the creepypasta stuff with Ben Drowned and the mask of the elegy of emptiness,
Yeah.
Maybe that'll
which
be
in
another
itself
podcast.
is creepy as fuck.
Yeah, it's so creepy.
And then there's the fierce deity.
Oh yeah.
That's the only time he doesn't really look like he's in all that much pain.
Yeah.
That's the only time he really doesn't look like he's in that much pain, to be honest.
It's been a long time. I need to replay that game. I have it on my computer.
Play
I
it when
watched a
it's-
friend play it recently. I do need to get back to playing all of the Legend of Zelda games. But like I don't have Skyward Sword, so I could start and go through the entire series and go through the different timelines.
I really
But
liked.
you did start Skyward Sword.
There are certain games I can't play, but I'll find a way to play them eventually.
I really liked Oracle of Seasons. Is it Seasons? No, Oracle of Ages. That was my favorite one.
Like I
Next
can't play
to-
Oracle of Ages or Oracle of Seasons to look for them yet.
You can play it online on a browser. It looks great. Looks just like you would in the game.
I know I can play it through there. I just have to actually look for the right one. It's not like I don't have an emulator, I just have to look for the
Haha, Brian. Haha.
Those two high Triforce Heroes I haven't played, but that one looks fun. Fourth Wars Adventure is one I haven't played either, and that's supposed to be fun too. That's actually a really interesting one. And then I think those are the only ones that I don't through some means or other. I'll have to look for those.
What's next on our list?
Polybius.
Polybius, I don't know how to say it, and Berserk, which are two arcade cabinets. I don't know where Berserk was, supposedly, but it is the first game to cause the death of players. Allegedly, the arcade cabinet took the lives of a couple different people. The first was somebody named Jeff Daly, who reached a high score of 16,660, and soon after he died from a heart attack.
Oh my.
Pleasant.
The second person, Peter Bukowski, played the game and reached a top 10 spot twice. When he got off the cabinet to play something else, he collapsed also from a heart attack. That is all the details I have of that one. But of course, people are saying it's because of the game. I don't know if it was a real game or not.
That's like Pokemon in Lavender Town. It had the song. It made people
Oh,
suicidal.
yeah.
Forgot about that until that.
Forgot.
Oh, yeah. That
And
whole
that didn't even make
thing.
it onto our list.
I forgot. I did. I mean, that one's such an unknown one. It's hard to really.
There's not a lot of details on it. All we know is that there was supposedly a song that was in Lavender Town. I think you can still find it that made people suicidal when they played it.
And you have to. They actually took it out of the game
Yeah.
for that reason.
Yes, they did.
Polybius. This one I like because it is in Portland, Oregon.
Of course you do.
And
The
is on
original, really quick time. It was the original Japanese version, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. So according to the theory, there were 2 Polybius arcade machines placed in different locations in Portland, Oregon. And as people would play the game, they would experience headaches, nausea, nightmares, and in some cases, suicidal thoughts. Men in black suits would then be seen going to the arcades where these cabinets would be located. They would download the data that the game produced from the people playing it and be on their merry way. Of course, there's no confirmation of whether or not they existed. Some people say they did. Other people say fact-checking websites say it didn't exist. But I think it's a fun theory, just because like one of the theories of why they were doing this was like the government testing. I don't know, it was like games affecting people, or if they were like trying to do some sort of mind control thing. I don't know.
I highly believe that.
What?
I highly believe the mind control one.
So I feel like
the
government has
that would probably be kind of a subliminal messaging kind of thing.
Yeah. Speaking of subliminal messaging. Subliminal messaging and mind control, which I think the government has experimented with.
Hell yeah.
I think
they
like
really
they have.
continue to do it.
Isn't that what the LSD thing was all about? Was they trying to use LSD to mind control people? Or am I completely off?
No, that's correct.
I have my uncle who I will not say his name. We'll just call him Uncle. He's a Vietnam veteran, and one day I asked him, excuse me, I was like, Pop, can I ask you a question? And he was like, if it's what I'm thinking, the answer is no, I'm not going to answer it. It was, if you killed anybody. I was like, no, it's not that. And I asked him, did they like give you guys drugs? Like in Black Hawk Down or one of those movies from the 80s about the Vietnam War.
Was the Vietnam one.
Thank you. Where they gave them LSD and speed and all that. And my uncle was like, oh yeah, they would purposely, I remember there were these little red pills. They would give it to us and we'd be up for days hunting Charlie. And yeah.
Yeah, Black Hawk Down was the Gulf one. I unfortunately have a very, very bad knowledge of military movies because I honestly believe that. I would not be shocked if in every major war or police action, as they like to be called, since we actually haven't been okay to go to war since World War II. Let that just sink in for a second.
Doesn't it have to get okayed by
congressional approval?
Yeah.
We've gone to war. The last time we had congressional approval to go to war was World War II in 1941. That was the last time we had congressional approval.
Wow.
I heard that somewhere before, and I think I blocked it out. But yeah, that's incredible.
So we've gone to war 7 or 8 times since then, and so over the past 70, 80 years, because 2021, 1941. We've gone to war so many times without congressional approval.
That's not shocking.
We would.
Fun fact about how gaming has made its way into our military for sniper training and like dropping bomb training. They actually use Xbox controllers to train and to not an actual Xbox controller, but like a military version of an Xbox controller. And because the kids that are now joining the military are quicker and more accurate if they have a controller in front of them rather than an actual gun.
I think I've heard that before.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Scary thing, but that's a thing. Also in a chat or Discord chat, I put the Lavender Town thing. If anyone wanted to see what me and Kiss were mentioning. It is a very it's not disturbing, but it's not soothing.
Yeah, we're not gonna put that on.
Like you would expect it to be. Yeah, no, I wouldn't put it on stream, but
No one on the stream to get muted because I have to download it later.
yeah.
There's a lot of fun Pokemon theories too. While we're talking about Lavender Town,
Is there?
like I don't know about a lot,
Yeah.
but there are theories about it. Like in
I mean, there's also a lot of creepypasta coming
yeah,
on,
like
including the one about Lavender.
yeah, like in the Pokemon movie, Ash actually died at the end.
I've heard that one.
Yep.
And that's why he's 11 years old forever.
I have heard that.
And then in one of the games, I think, you actually killed one of your rival's Pokemon. And that's why you see him in Lavender Town or something.
Huh.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Oh god. What else is on our list? What's here?
We got next on the list is the
Real quick on the along the lines of the LSD thing. They also gave syphilis and other diseases to black people to see how they worked on them because they were different race.
Isn't that why what I've heard is why a number of like black people and Native Americans and people of color don't often trust vaccines
Yes.
in the United States is because
Yes.
we gave them diseases.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole thing, the smallpox blanket.
Yep.
That was a big one. But that was also 1600.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one also you can kind of forgive's not the right word, but you can kind of be a little bit more understanding in the fact that their education about germs was so it just didn't exist.
No, they were purposely.
Yeah, they were
Given
trying
things
to
like
make them sick and get rid of them. Like it was
really the smallpox blankets one was up on purpose. They knew about it.
Yeah. They were literally giving them diseases to try to eradicate them.
Now, the whole thing with the ultimate colonizer, Columbus, his was accidental because he was a fucking moron. But yeah, when we were settling in the US, it was on purpose. Because they didn't want, I forget if it was the English or if it was the colony that were doing it. No.
don't.
I'm not sure, but you know, you know when you're a kid and you ask questions to your teacher like, doesn't Africa and South America look like they should connect? Type of questions.
Mm-hmm.
When my teacher said, "Oh, Columbus called them Indians because he was trying to find a quicker way to India," my first question is, then why didn't he correct himself when he realized he was not in India?
Yeah.
Because he
Like,
was a fucking moron. He really didn't know.
and it's crazy because you can just say that yeah, he was a moron, but like when a second grader can ask that question, you know,
That's a good second grader.
you kind of can't give an adult that excuse, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he?
Pretty sure he did.
Columbus fucked a manatee?
What?
Wait, huh?
Sure.
He's the start of mermaid culture.
Oh my god.
Google machine.
And that does sound vaguely familiar, but I feel like it's one of those things that I push out of my head. I know, we're the worst people to be talking about conspiracy theories.
Well, mermaids have been around for like long before Columbus fucked a manatee or what
Yeah.
whatever.
It is a legit thing. He reported later that they came quite high out of the water, but they were not as pretty as are depicted. For somehow, in the face, they look like men.
Isn't that in the
That
Bible somewhere that you can't?
That is a legit piece of his diary, his journal,
Dude's insane.
about the manatee.
Has anybody seen the show Black Mirror?
Yes, I love that show. I love it so much.
I've seen like
haven't.
2.
Season 1, episode 1 is all I'm thinking about right now.
Oh my god.
That's the one
Okay,
I-
when I first watched Black Mirror, the person who told me to watch it was like, "Listen, skip the first episode. You don't have to watch it in order. Watch the second one first, then go back and watch the first one. Because if you watch the first one, you'll never watch the rest of the show."
Yeah,
They
see,
were
nobody
right.
told me that.
Dare I ask?
The first episode is about a politician that's being blackmailed. I can't remember the whole story. It's been a long time. But basically, he has to fuck a pig. And
What had happened is that he, like, the princess of England goes missing or
Yeah.
whatever, and he's the prime minister or next up to be the prime minister or something. So they're like, if you don't find her, you won't have the votes. So you have to do this in order for them to give her back. And the thing is that he had to do it on live national TV.
Yeah.
And it was just, yeah, don't watch the first episode of Black Mirror.
yeah,
It's bad. It's rough.
I always say to watch the next one
Please.
and then go back and watch the first one. It is a great show though. Like all the seasons were really good. There's a couple episodes that are kind of meh, but like a lot of them are really good.
Raz, no.
Squeal for your daddy. It's great. It's creepy, Wes. It's creepy. Oh boy. My allergies are killing me.
Same, I just moved to, our new apartment is on an apple farm.
Oh, nice.
So allergies, the house.
I feel that. I feel that.
What's up, Rockin?
Hi, Rockin'.
Hi, Rockin'.
Did we have anything more on experimenting on the Vietnam troops?
I think we can all agree that they still do some fucked up shit in the military that they just can't talk about.
Mhm.
For sure.
Next up is one of my personal favorites. That mattress stores are a cover for money laundering.
I've never heard this one, but after seeing so many stores
it's
close
checked out.
together, yeah, like it's legit. I can, yeah.
Because they're always so... There's always a bunch of them. This originated with Mattress Firm, specifically. But in my area, I've got a bunch of different mattress companies, in close proximity to each other. And this theory came up because you always have... It was originally, there were just a bunch of mattress firms next to each other. I'm pretty sure one mattress company owns all of the different mattress stores. But they're always empty. You hardly see anyone ever go into them. They're all, like, really close to each other. And, like, no one ever goes in. If you go into a mattress store, it's empty.
Truth.
Aside from, like, maybe an employee.
Yeah, they usually are pretty empty. And we have
And the
two, like,
employees are always hard to find when you go
Truth.
in there.
Truth. Like, we have a mattress firm that's up the street, up the hill from my house, and there's one in a little, like, storefront area, and then there's one right across the street that's, like, a bigger store, and I was like, okay, why? And someone's like, oh, they're moving to that store. I'm like, okay, that makes sense, but then they were open for years, both of them. I'm like, well, that just doesn't add up at all. What is happening here? Do they go talk about the mattress in the one store and then go, like, lay on the mattress in the other store? Like, how does this work? Because it's not just across the street. It's across the highway. So, like, why? Well, it's not really a highway,
Right.
but it's, like, a double-laned, super busy road.
Right. And, like, this
Crazy.
theory is only for brick-and-mortar mattress stores.
Yeah.
Which,
Oh yeah.
now that I think about it, we actually also have a mattress store in our mall.
Just why? Why is there a need for so many mattress stores? Are people buying mattresses that often? I don't think so.
No. Although if you look into it, mattresses are super freaking expensive, so they don't actually need to sell that many in a year to make a profit.
No, not at all.
Supposedly you're supposed to place your mattress every 7.
How
Yeah,
long?
but who does that?
Every how long?
7 years?
I thought it was
7
like every
years.
like
years.
2 years.
Mm-mm.
Not that often. Every 7 years.
And there's Brian's response.
I just flip mine over and call it a day.
I do too. Every like 6 months, I flip it.
That's a little work.
It's so
I
you don't
flip
get a
mine.
dent. I'm the only person in my bed. You gotta flip it so you don't get a dent.
Mm-hmm.
Brian and I just switch sides every so often.
I mean, that works too.
Like, hey, can I sleep on the other side? And like, yeah, sure. And then that's how it is for a few months until somebody wants to switch again.
Nice. Makes sense.
Feel like there's some conspiracy theories around car dealerships. I can't think of them, but I feel like they exist.
Probably, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any of car dealerships though. Hi, Stayface.
I have one.
Okay.
So, in Buffalo, New York, and Niagara Falls area, there's a really big Italian community. And there's rumors about the mob, but nobody's actually seen anything or whatever, so... And if they have, they don't tell. So there's this guy... Kiss, you're in PA, you probably have seen Fusillo on license plate holders at least once.
Oh my
And
god.
he had the craziest low-budget commercials that are just like a meme, like a local meme at this point. And he has no matter what, nobody ever goes to buy a car from him that I know of, because they always say that they're overpriced, they're shady, but yet there's always Fusillos on the road, and he's never out of business, like no matter what. Like
He
COVID,
definitely worked
still
for
in
the mob.
business.
So
So
she's Italian.
Def mob.
I think that car dealerships are tied to the mob. I think that that's their new, like, since gambling became legal, they got to find a new way.
I could see that. I could see that. Now that I'm thinking about some fellow family members who live in New York and all kind of deal with car
Honestly,
lots.
I wouldn't be shocked. And yeah, my Kia Soul is from the Fusillo dealership.
Oh
but
my
when
god!
When it was Fusillo down here, but it really, they do jack up the prices. My parents had wanted to look at a Telluride when they were first starting to come out, and they were jacking it up by at least $3,000.
Wow.
So
Somebody said in the chat, oh, Shay. Hi, Shay. She said pizza shops. Pizza shops are actually known, especially in New York City, as covers for money laundering for the mob. They don't use them quite as much anymore, but there are some that still exist. So yeah.
It's racist because it's a pizza shop.
I'm
Offended.
serious. I have a book written by God, what's his name? Anyway, it was a mob book and it was about this guy's life in the mob, and one of his fronts was a pizza shop.
I believe it. We had a family reunion a couple years ago with my grandfather, and there was this group of guys that were dressed really nice in the corner by themselves, so smoking good cigars. And we tried to ask my grandfather about it, and he's like, "Yeah, we don't talk about it." I'm like, oh, are they in it? I can't tell you
That's
that.
just confirmation.
Right? Like, I can't tell you that. Can't talk about it. Are you gonna
Like, you
introduce
could
us to
say
our family?
no.
Yeah. Can you introduce us to his family? You don't need to know them. What? What are you talking about?
Are they part of the mafia? I can't tell you that. You just you could just say no.
Just say no. I have pictures of my grandfather when he was younger living in New York, and like he never would talk about it, but you can just tell just by the way he's dressed and who he was taking pictures with. Definitely part of the mob.
Well, that kind of brings me to one of our topics. It might not be the next one, but I know it was one of them. JFK. I'm convinced he was killed by the mob.
I just watched an episode of Conspiracy that talked about JFK and RFK. Mostly talked about RFK, but you know, they're tied together.
Somebody can correct me on this, but who was the president before Kennedy?
Fuck if I know. Why do you ask me that? I'm not in school anymore. I don't know.
Arcana, do you know?
I'm in school and I don't know.
Let's consult the Google, because it was that president who was really, really tied to the mob. And
Truman, I think.
I think Eisenhower.
It was Eisenhower.
Oh.
It was Eisenhower.
It was Truman, then Eisenhower, then Kennedy.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So he at the time was, and this was a
Was.
time when the LGBTQ community was not as strong and open as it is now, but he was a closeted gay man, and the mob knew, and he would pay off the mob to keep his reputation where he wanted it to be, so he, can run the country. And Kennedy was going to take all of that away. They were going to blow the mob wide open and tear it down, and they were going to lose all their mob money. So instead of just letting it rock, they proceeded to set out a hit on our president.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of us think that what's his face actually killed Kennedy, or was he framed?
100% framed.
Framed, but I think it was more to do with LBJ than I do with the mob. And there's a lot of theories about what LBJ did, because it was LBJ's idea for him to even go to that area of Texas first. So, and he had a lot of ties with FBI and CIA and all of that.
Yeah.
I could easily have see it having been coming out of there.
Yeah, from what the episode of Conspiracy that I watched, both John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy were wanting to, I don't remember the specifics of what they were wanting to do, but I think it had to do with equality. And the government wasn't a fan of that, so they hired people to kill JFK and his brother when his brother decided to run. And it's interesting for Robert Kennedy because they caught a guy who had a gun who definitely did fire shots, but the bullet wounds for Robert came from behind him, not in front of him.
Yeah.
It was just a fall guy that they caught.
It's always just a fall guy.
Yep.
The president I do know that was involved with the mob and Teamsters was Nixon.
Oh, 100%.
Well, no. There's legit proof with that.
There's audio recordings of Nixon talking about
Yep.
the Teamsters.
Yep. Because he's the reason that Jimmy Hoffa got out of jail, but that he could not be part of the Teamsters. And his second in command, or who he was grooming to be the next leader, worked with Nixon to do that.
I believe that.
That much I do know.
Thanks, Kaylee.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
I thought I had something on the Teamsters and stuff, but I don't.
Rip. Big rip.
I also recently watched an episode about that.
I gotta watch that.
It's so interesting. The first couple episodes are about Nazis and Hitler and the theory that Hitler didn't really kill himself.
Yeah, I don't believe that either.
Yeah, no. He absolutely didn't.
And like he had I guess stand-ins, but not really well, I guess they were stand-ins. People that looked like him and his wife that were found.
Well, she wasn't even his wife.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, she was, because they got married right before that. That's right.
Why would you get married and then go kill yourself? Like,
Well, I have one because the number one Nazi that always has intrigued me was Dr. Joseph Mengele.
yes.
And
Super interesting.
I haven't looked into this. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just convinced in my own head that I don't need to, that I just know. But I am thoroughly convinced that he did not escape to South America, and the American government hired him as a research physician and just hid him in a lab somewhere. Like, just do your thing. We'll keep it quiet, but all of your research comes to us. Like, to me, that makes more sense. Because we all know the U.S. did that to a bunch of Nazis. And that's why NASA was successful.
This is true. That much has been confirmed of it. Not with NASA. I mean, the testing and experimenting that the Nazis did is also why we have Tylenol.
Yeah,
and also it is also why we have the Cold War. Had the Cold War. Still technically do have the Cold War.
I don't know. I want to read his Mengele's medical findings so bad, but I know supposedly they don't exist. I'm pretty sure they do exist.
Oh, I'm sure they're somewhere.
I'm sure. You know, if we were able to hide a Nazi at NASA, Werner von Braun.
Yep.
If we were able to hide him, we can hide Mengele. You know, like put him in the University of Nebraska somewhere and just be like, just live here. You know, that's my own conspiracy theory. I don't know if others have looked into it, but that's just me.
There's some theories that like Hitler and other Nazis went and hid out in Antarctica underground, and there's like some big underground tunnel and bunker system where
There is
like,
a
Nazis
huge conspiracy about Antarctica that if you all the scans and pictures of Antarctica, there's a huge hole right in the middle that no data can be taken from. And a lot of people think that's like either another dimension or the start of underground Hollow Earth.
So that's obviously where Godzilla lives. You know.
Yeah, clearly.
Well,
I
has
saw
any...
Godzilla versus Kong.
I said that too. I was like, definitely Godzilla. The underwater creature, of course.
The kaiju.
Well, do any of you guys listen to Coast AM radio show? It's literally all about conspiracies.
No, but sounds like I need to.
You need to, because there are so many different. I'm not sponsored, by the way, but Coast AM with George Norrie. If you want to hear deathbed confessions from agents and all sorts of stuff, Girls Spot Game. But anyway, there's a show that they did about Antarctica, and it basically, it's a half military base, half entrance to the rest of the world, where all of, what once were thought of mythical creatures live. Like, there's millions of different species that live underneath the earth.
I believe it.
What was the name of it again?
Coast to Coast AM. Just go coasttocoastam.com and you can see all sorts of stuff.
Check that out later. So
What's next?
Well, we just mentioned Hollow Earth. Kiss, do you want to talk about Hollow Earth?
We can a little bit. I haven't had a chance to really look into it, but the theory is, like I said, and it's not that it is true, Brian. There is a giant hole in Antarctica. It's the size of Maine. That hole is real. But obviously they say it's from cyclones, the weather, blah 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 blah. But a lot of people think that this either leads to another dimension or it is the entrance to Hollow Earth, and it's super protected by the government. Not researchers, not scientists, but the government. And supposedly you're not allowed to fly directly there. And it's obviously in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's Antarctica. But you can fly to Antarctica, I believe. That was debunked. But the fact is that there is a giant hole there that no one knows where it goes, supposedly.
Yes,
And-
it is true that you... I'm sorry to cut you off, Kiss.
No, you're good.
But it is true that you can go and fly to Antarctica, but your trip is going to be literally 10 minutes, and they can walk you around like that little airport that they built, but that's about it.
Yep.
Then they
That's
take you
what
straight
you're
back.
talking about, right, Kiss?
Yeah.
The one I just put in the Discord chat?
What am I putting in the Discord chat? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's the one?
Yeah.
The hole looks small, but
I swear there was another. Yeah, it's the size of Maine.
it looks tiny, but
Yeah.
it's really not that small.
Yeah. So supposedly Hollow Earth is there's tunnels underground, deep underground, with saying a hole in the map. No. Saying that it leads. Oh my God, Brian, please stop talking to me. I can't with you. You're fucking me up. That there's enormous tunnels in an underground of our Earth, and that there's creatures that live there, etc., etc. Basically Godzilla, exactly like we saw in King Kong versus Godzilla, Kong versus Zilla, whatever the fuck it was called.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That movie with the two giant monsters fighting each other.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of people who don't think that we have like the core and then like the molten crust around it, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people think it is actually hollow with a whole subterranean area beneath of us. How have we not captured this on camera yet? Because they're literally protecting it. A lot of people think the government is protecting it. And let's be honest, do you really think people aren't going to panic knowing that? It would be chaos. It'd just be as bad as like if we knew that if people really truly saw aliens, they would freak the fuck out.
Well,
So
it would
what
be...
those
Sorry.
and the science on that is they're called that hole is called a polyna, Polyna, and it's supposedly made by rivers. by rivers in the sky, apparently.
I've heard of
Yeah.
sky rivers.
Yeah.
That's supposedly where it happened. How it happened.
Hold up. Rivers with water in the sky.
Yep. Again, supposedly, that is what happened.
Yeah, and Jesus was white.
Jesus was white.
Okay. I don't know.
Picture of
Sorry.
Obi-Wan Kenobi isn't actually Jesus.
So also on the topic of Antarctica, they also might have. I really have to look into this a little bit. I'll read while we're talking about it. But spotted a parallel universe going backwards in time in an experiment in Antarctica.
Who?
Basically, everything's upside down.
Said this?
Sure.
I'm reading it right now, but they it's an article about an experiment they did in Antarctica.
Interesting.
By I believe it was Peter Gorham. They just said they're called clouds. Get out of here. They used a balloon attached to carrying a bunch of antennas to float above the ice, and it scans the landscape. The first flight, it had nothing to show for itself, but odd flashes of background noise. And it was the same thing with flights for over a year. For the third time, the researchers decided to go to the past in the data again, and the particles they originally dismissed as noise. And when they examined it, one signal seemed to be the signature of a high-energy particle. And they thought it was impossible for it to be that.
I think I've heard about this. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, and the particle was, instead of being in the sky, the particle was coming from the ground.
Interesting.
So far, a bunch of things have been rolled out. And they think it is the existence of a parallel universe that's upside down compared to ours. And it was created at the same time as the Big Bang, basically.
So is it like the upside down in Stranger Things?
Yes, but not so creepy. Maybe, who knows?
Well, it's more like so supposedly the theory is, I don't know if there's a name to it, but the theory is that there is a duplicate of Earth on the other side of the sun. That, you know, it follows our same rotation, but it's constantly on the opposite side of the sun, so we can never see it. And that is the, like, parallel universe that NASA is hiding because they can see it and they could show it to us, but they're not allowed to. Because it would break everything that society has built.
We can also subscribe to the multiverse theory where there's every choice basically has a different universe.
Anything involving like a planet on the other side of the sun that we just don't see, I have trouble believing. But for whatever reason, I'm willing to buy into the multiverse theory.
Well, multiverse theory makes a little bit more sense. Stop it, babe. Weird to think though, like every like choice you make could be something else in a different universe. What would have happened?
Because like, if you've ever been on the Glitch in the Matrix subreddit, or just not even necessarily that subreddit, but like just experiences that people have had, where something potentially traumatic will happen, like someone's in the car with their mom and their little kid, and they're like distracting their mom, like, "Hey mom, pay attention to me, mom," and the mom is finally like, "What?" And before moving the car, turns around and looks at the kid, and then suddenly there's a horrible car accident in front of them where the mom's car would have been seconds later had she not turned around and looked at the kid.
Yep.
And then like shit like that happens, like, well, what if in another universe that did happen? Like,
so
you could die.
There's a theory that when you have like deja vu and when you have dreams where you are about to die in your dream and you wake up, there's theories that when you wake up, you're in a different universe, that you did actually die. But you're in the universe that you didn't die in. I just read this from somebody else. It was really funny. I read an article about it, and then the same day I saw a TikTok about it, about a woman talking about it, where she had a dream. I think she was in a car, and she was wearing a different outfit, and she got into a crash in her dream, and she started dying in her dream. She woke up and was in that outfit when she woke up that she was in the dream, which was the different outfit that she went to bed in.
Interesting.
Kind of along the lines of shifting, which, by the way, if you guys have ever heard of shifting, the government has actually released, it is available for the public, a 25-page document describing and detailing how to shift realities.
Oh, I'm reading that. But I
actually have screenshots of it.
Oh, can you DM them to me?
Yeah, I gotta find them. They're somewhere buried in my phone somewhere. But
So I have an experience like that where a dream kind of came to life. So I have PTSD, and frequently, if not every night, I have nightmares. Well, occasionally I will have actual like night terror where it's sleep paralysis. And there was one in particular where I was in my hometown, and I was in kind of like the tourist district by like the water, because I grew up in Niagara Falls, and I was flying with my brother, but he was like mad at me for some reason, so he was trying to teach me a lesson, and he let go, and I started falling, and I could see a guardrail that was like the ones that they used on the trails in Niagara Falls, and I was like, if I fall on this on my back, I'm gonna split in half. And I fell on it on my back, and the next morning, I could barely stand. My back was hurting so bad in the place where I fell in the dream.
When I was little, I had this really weird dream where I was like, I think I was getting stabbed in the dream, and I could physically feel it in the dream, and I woke up and I could still like feel pain in that spot. It's like, crazy. It very well could be, Kaylee. It very well could be.
It could be, but again, the government released documents on shifting. So if you don't know what shifting is, basically you put yourself in a state of meditation, and you can either say, write, but basically you want to repeat a script in your head of what you want to happen in this reality. And eventually you'll kind of go, the theory is that you shift to that reality while you're doing that. And you live in that reality. There are obviously, like they say, there's ways you can come back. Like in your script, you say like 1 minute equals like a month in the reality, stuff like that. And then when you wake up. That is the other theory, is that it is a state of meditation. But people have said like they've brought stuff back with them. They've had marks or tattoos that they've brought back with them, etc. etc.
Can you bring money back?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Nice try though.
I've had dreams where I'm meeting a celebrity that I really admire, like Emma Watson is one that I've had where like I'm in the dream. This was when I lived at my mom's house, and I had like a notebook next to me, because I would write before I would go to bed. And in the dream, like I would have a full day, and I would, at the end of the day, I was like, okay, I'm gonna write this in my notebook to see if it actually happened. And so when if I'm dreaming, then it's not gonna be there. But when I wake up, if it was real, then I had that writing just there to prove that it happened.
All right,
and then
Inception.
I would wake up, and of course there would be no writing.
All right, Inception, calm down.
I did not dream Watson.
I don't dream anymore, but as a kid. So, Kayla, you're still dreaming. You're just not remembering your dreams.
Yeah, I think you'd probably go insane if you didn't dream, because that's how your brain processes.
Yeah,
Processes.
You are dreaming. It's been proven that you are dreaming. You just aren't remembering what you're dreaming about. Which is good. Usually when you're having dreams, it's because you're processing, you have trauma, or there's something you're trying to work through. So like, you know, when you're running, but you're running really slow from something, you know, you're running from your problems, etc.
I've had dreams where like I'm trying to scream for help and I can't.
Yeah. I have a lot of dreams where I can't run fast enough. It's not even usually like from something. It's usually towards something. Or like I'm fighting for like my life and I can't punch hard enough. Like I'm just like slow motion punching stuff.
I've had those. Those are horrible.
No, Shay, I have nightmares too. That's all I have. I've had the same nightmare. Ready? I've had the same nightmare for almost 20 years. Same nightmare. The only thing that changes are the people in it are usually like my friend group at the time that kind of take the place of my friends in the dream. But it's the same fucking nightmare and I still have no fucking idea what it means. And it scares the shit out of me every time I have it.
I have this occasional recurring location in my dreams.
What location?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
In the dream it's like on the way to my grandma's house, but that's not really there on the way to my grandma's house.
I want to touch on that. But I want to touch on the night bear thing though. I actually am writing a book on it because it just has plagued me for 20 years. But on your thing, Timeless, that was in a movie called Devil's Pass. It's actually about Dyatlov's Pass, that whole shenanigans. It's a really good, like, it's a horror movie. It's really good. It has some of the facts in it, and obviously it's a horror movie, so they made a lot up. But in it, the reason that they go to Dyatlov's Pass for this girl's college project is because she keeps having dreams about this place. And she doesn't understand it. She doesn't know why she's having the dreams or, like, why she would think of something like that. And then they get there, and it all kind of gets revealed. I don't want to spoil it, but it all gets revealed to her. And she's like, oh, this is the place I've been dreaming of for my entire life.
Add it to the movie list and we'll watch it.
It's really good.
It's called Devil's Pass.
Yeah, it's called Devil's Pass. I used to always have dreams where I was Superman, but I couldn't fly, so I spent the entire dream just trying. I had a dream, just jumping. I had a dream once where I could fly, and it was the weirdest, like, I know lucid dreaming is a thing, because I've done it, but, I could fly in the dream. I could literally feel, like, weightless. It was amazing. And then, like, as I started waking up, I started losing my ability to fly. It was really weird. And then when I woke up, I, like, literally couldn't fly. It was really weird. But lucid dreaming's fun.
I've never lucid dreamt before, but I've had dreams where I think I'm dreaming. Kind of like I already talked about, but different. Where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna, like, try to do something in my dream to wake myself up because I think I'm dreaming, but then I can't wake myself up.
There's for lucid dreaming, it's like weird because like when I know that I'm starting to do it, I'll wake up really quickly. But like it's weird. It's almost like I'm starting to get that consciousness of waking up, but I'm still in the dream, and I'll be like, oh, I didn't like how that happened. Let me try to do this, and then I know because in my dream I go, I'm gonna wake up soon. I'm dreaming. Like it's really weird. So,
like a week or two ago, I was having this really horrible nightmare. It didn't start off as a nightmare, of course, but it turned into one, and I'm like hiding in a closet from some psychopaths that want to kill me. And I'm just like, and for whatever reason, like at one point, I must have kind of woken up and seen Brian laying next to me and myself laying in the bed. Like, feeling myself laying in bed and seeing Brian next to me. Because then I'm like, I'm back in the dream, and I'm like, this is a dream. I need to wake up so I don't get killed. And so I'm just, like, in the dream, like, shaking my head saying, wake up, wake up, wake up. And then I woke up. And I was like, oh, good. It was a dream. And my heart was, like, pounding.
Good. Maybe
like...
Timeless is astral projecting.
Quick side note, I just Googled the government document on shifting. It's the first thing that comes up. It is 29 pages, and on the bottom of every page it says approved for release September 10th of 2003.
Yeah, they kept it for years.
That's insane.
They just released it this year.
Can we talk about, like, the government documents that they released about aliens?
I didn't read any of it. I didn't get to see or read any of it. Does someone have a link to that?
No.
I'm gonna Google it real quick.
Boop on top of it.
But while we're waiting for that, while we're in all this conversation, so lucid dreaming is tied to sleep paralysis too.
Yes, which is why I have been too afraid to try lucid dreaming because I don't want to have sleep paralysis.
I do it on accident, so I can't even really say, like, I haven't tried to do it on purpose because I am also very afraid of that. Because not that I think it's, like, demons or anything, but, like, it makes you think, like, maybe there's a reason, like, they don't want you doing it. Whether it's, like, a good thing for you or a bad thing for you. But, like, it's scary to think of a sleep paralysis demon coming after you when you're stuck in bed and you can't move, you can't do anything.
And
Bye, Kaylee.
I have suffered sleep paralysis many times.
They say a lot of, like, alien abductions that happen from your bed were actually sleep paralysis.
It's the most terrifying thing in the whole world.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
You're completely helpless, and you know it, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And it's actually, I don't know if we put the topic of shadow people up, but just real quick, there was a time when I was in the middle of sleep paralysis, and this is why I tell my husband, like, you have to be here when I sleep, because I can't not have you here, because every time you're not here, this is what happens. And I was awake, and all I saw were just 20 to 30 shadow people, like, doing laps around the room. And I could not move. And everyone was like, you were dreaming. I was like, no. There were 20 to 30 doing laps. It was insane. And I finally, like, you know when you wake up in a dream and then you wake up for real?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was one of those.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
those are not fun.
That's big yikes. Shadow people are interesting. So, like, it depends on what context of shadow people you're talking about. Because a lot of people who see, like, paranormal things see shadow people. That's, like, a big thing in the paranormal community. So at my mom's house, I scare her every fucking time this happens. We're convinced that they think it's Alex's mom. I can concur with this because it's not like a bad energy that we feel there. When Killian was a baby, I was staying with my mom. So he was just born. He's probably like 2-3 weeks old. And he was sleeping on the guest bed, and we put pillows around him, obviously. So he wasn't rolling at that point, but just in case, you know. And I had a baby cam, so I could see him at all times. And I was in the first floor, Killian's on the second floor, and my mom and Alex are in the basement watching movies. And I glanced at the camera just to make sure he was okay, because I thought I heard him rustle. And I looked over, and I saw what looked like a person, like, fluffing a blanket to put on the baby. Cool. Thought it was my mom. Just saw the blanket part, right? So, like, an hour passes, and my mom comes upstairs. She asks how I was doing. I was like, yeah, I was going to check on Killian, but I saw you were just up there, like, putting a blanket on him. She's like, I never went upstairs. I've been in this basement the entire time. And I'm like, you did not go upstairs and, like, check on Killian? She's like, no. I'm like, okay, well, then someone's in the house, because I absolutely saw somebody on the camera. And then every once in a while, this happens. The most recent one, I had brought my computer over. It was when I stayed with my mom for, like, a long time. It actually might have been during my surgery when I had my computer there. So in May. And I was sitting at the computer. What?
So recently?
Yeah, it was recent. It was in May. I was sitting at the computer. She has this, like, really big chandelier, like, right over the table. And my computer's pretty tall. Like, it's, like, almost eye level, like, the monitors. And I swear to God, I heard footsteps. I thought my mom had come up. And their kitchen is motion censored lights. So if you even, like, barely walk in the kitchen, the lights will go off. That didn't happen. So I heard footsteps that went through the living room to the other side of the dining room. And I literally thought I saw, like, my mom peek her head over, just, like, kind of peeked in and looked at me and make sure I was still there. I went back and I was like, Mom? And no answer. And then she came up literally 2 minutes later. I'm like, were you just up here? And she's like, no. I'm like, okay, well, there was a shadow lady that looked just like you in the next room. She's like, it's really funny that you say that, because I was sitting on the couch the other day before you got here, and I swear to God, I watched a shadow walk through the living room. And where we both saw the shadow was where Alex's mom used to have a piano, and she used to play the piano.
Oh, interesting.
So we're almost, like, our thoughts are that it's his mom kind of watching over.
I feel like we could just have an entire episode on, like, ghosts and shadow people and
I think we should have one, because I have so many fucking stories from paranormal.
Maybe that'll be our November episode.
Let me do it on my birthday.
October
my birthday's
is
Saturday.
Data will
I
be
would
here for
love
that,
to
because Data will be here from the 8th to the 30th.
Perfect. Long time.
So we're not doing it for October, because October is mental health awareness, and we are doing a mental health episode.
Yay.
Uh,
Sorry, I'm just going through the government's alien document. I'm trying to find the right.
and if we need a skeptic for the ghosts one,
I think Brian and Data should both be on it because Data is a huge skeptic.
so is Brian. Although
Perfect.
one time he was stoned, but he did say he believes in ghosts but not spirits, or vice versa. And I was like, well, what's the difference? And he explained that one of them is more like residual memory type thing, which he believes in, but the other one that supposedly interacts with people and the environment is the one he does not believe in.
Okay. I guess I can understand that.
But then I asked him about it when he's not stoned, and he's like, I don't believe in any of those.
Okay, fair. We definitely should have an episode because I have so many freaking stories, including one about a demon. So I think we should absolutely do one in November.
I don't have a lot of stories, but I can get some from my dad.
Do it.
I have a lot of stories. I grew up in a house that was built 100 years ago, and that was in 2001.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I got some stories.
My dad has some childhood haunted house stories.
Someone remind me to talk about Ralph Sarchi in New York when we talk about it. That man is a legend. While people's looking for that, what's next on our list?
Did you talk about the Illuminati? Let's talk about the Illuminati.
No, I try to stay the fuck out of the Illuminati stuff because that shit scares me. But
Yeah.
Ooh, well, I can talk about it.
basically, the Illuminati is a group. People can go into way more detail. And like 90% of artists and like big celebrities are part of the Illuminati, and that's why they're so successful. Also, before we get into that, the Elite 13 are tied to the Illuminati, and it's 13 families that are the most influential families. I mean, they are like, we're talking above the government influential people.
I should be taking notes on all of this.
But the 13, they're like, okay, so the 13 are the Astors, Bundy, Collins, DuPont, Freeman, Kennedy, Lee, Onassis. I've actually never heard of that one. The Rockefellers, the Russells, the Van Dunes. This one I really can't pronounce. Merovingian? I don't know.
Onassis
And
might sound familiar to you, Kiss, because of Jackie Kennedy.
Not at all, actually. The Rothschild. What?
Jacqueline Kennedy started life as Jacqueline Onassis.
Oh, well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And the Rothschilds, which the Rothschilds control literally every bank in the world. Like, they'll say they're different banks, but they literally control all the banks. Like, it's crazy.
Aren't the Rothschilds the ones responsible for the FDIC, and that's why they control all of them? Even
I'm pretty sure, yes.
That's why they're able to say that they're different.
I'm pretty sure, yes.
Because so banks don't have to do this, but to avoid something like the Great Depression happening, where banks are SOL and nobody has money, they have the little FDIC sticker on the window when you drive through the ATM. And I could be wrong, but that's what I believe the Rothschilds own and run. And that's why, yeah, it's different banks that were opened by different people, but they're owned essentially by FDIC.
Yep. But they basically control everything. Fun fact, American Horror Story did in their episode, or season 8, which was Apocalypse, they talked about the Illuminati, and they called them the Collective, was what they were called in the show, and they literally mentioned them by the Illuminati, and that's who Michael meets with to do his plans for the end of the world.
Well, just recently, I guys know who,
Wait, hold on. Boople, you're
she was
Phone robot.
yeah, Boop, you're logging out. Boople!
sorry.
You're good. Start over.
Okay, hold on. Let me
Wait,
click
hold
this.
on. You hate American Horror Story because they put the clown. It is not in every season. What are you talking about? It was in season 7. It wasn't in season 6 or 5 or 8 or 9 or 10 so far. What are you talking about?
Which clown are we referring to?
The clown from season 4.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He's not in season 8. What are you talking about? Or 9.
The one with the super sad backstory?
Yeah. I don't remember him at all in season 8 or 9. I just watched season 8 again.
I love Freak Show.
Is my voice still roboty?
No, you're good. 4 and 5 I hated. I hated seasons 4 and 5.
Was 5 Hotel?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't get through it. I haven't seen anything past halfway through 5.
6 is decent. 7's kind of meh. 8 was good. 9 was meh. 10's not bad so far. Night Rockin'.
There was an interview with.
Yeah, okay, Shay, he's not like, if he's in it, it's for like a poster or like a picture or something. He's not like a huge thing in any of the seasons past
That's
4.
his name. Twisty.
Yeah.
Whoa Vicky. That's her name.
Yeah, that's
Do you
6,
guys know who Whoa Vicky is?
No.
Okay, she was that white girl that got famous for not Bad Baby, the one on Dr. Phil, but she was the one before her saying that she was African American, but she was clearly white.
Oh, her.
Whoa Vicky. So she was interviewed recently and was asked about the Illuminati, and they were like, well, what do they do? How do they get influencers, new young influencers, to be in it? And she broke it down.
Ooh.
Super clear. I watched her interview about 6 times just to like fully understand, but essentially what they do is they throw these huge mansion parties that other influencers who have been big for a long time, like Bella Thorne, host. And at the entrance to the mansion party, you have to give them your phone. You have to take off all your clothes, just in case, they want to film something.
I do remember this.
They take your blood, a sample of your blood.
Yep.
And as soon as she heard, because apparently she's super Christian, as soon as she heard them about taking the blood, she was like, nope, I'm out. I don't care if Bella Thorne's throwing the party, I'm leaving. And she left. But yeah, a lot of people go to those parties because if you go, your subscriber count will go up, your followers will go up, you'll get more sponsorships, more ads, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I did read see some of her interview. Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of people think Beyonce, basically anyone who's big is part of the Illuminati.
Brian said a few minutes ago that when Jim Carrey was walking onto a talk show, he did the Illuminati symbols, and then he didn't get work for a couple of years.
Yeah, and like if you watch like performances with like people who are said to be in it, they like throw up certain symbols that say that they're in Illuminati, basically.
I feel like didn't Beyonce do Super Bowl a few years ago and she did that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a few who did it. There's a lot of theories that like Tupac was in it, but then decided like he didn't want to be in it, and so instead of him like spilling everything that was going on, they had him killed. They have they say that about a lot of people that got killed. They were going to spill all their secrets and they killed them so they couldn't. A lot of people say that Eminem's like early songs, when he like switched his music, when he started singing about more like really serious issues, that he was speaking about the Illuminati.
Interesting. I know there's, going back to Tupac, there's theories that he's not really dead.
I have heard
but the Illuminati thing kind of discredits that one, but
not really.
It's all theories.
Not really, because you can think about it this way: if he's alive, he's really in hiding because they tried to kill him, and then he's in hiding, they can't find him, so they they have a fake Tupac is dead, had a body. Now he's in hiding.
What about Elvis though?
Same.
According to Siri, he's at Area 51.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't. I think I still have the screenshot, but I saw it on TikTok. Somebody asked Siri, "Where is Elvis Presley?" And she said at Area 51, but that's classified. And I did it to mine, and that's what she said. And I took a screenshot of it.
Oh.
Thank you, Siri bot.
Right. You said Siri said that about.
Mm-hmm.
My Alexa will. Alexa! I don't know. Where's Elvis?
Should you say Elvis is in Mississippi?
Yep. Said where he was born. But it didn't say when he was dead.
That's it.
Amazing.
I just asked my Siri, and she said he's gone to Graceland.
Oh, well.
I don't have a Siri. Well, I guess I do have my iPad behind me.
Do it. I dare you. Where's Data? He has an iPhone. Data!
Data! Data! Jasmine says it. Hey Siri. Where's Elvis?
He's gone to Graceland.
He's gone to Graceland. I don't know what Graceland is.
Death.
Oh, okay.
Graceland
No,
is his
Graceland
own
was the name of his
Yeah.
his like ranch.
Yeah, in Tennessee.
So death.
Yeah.
Graceland, the home of Elvis Presley.
But no, the Illuminati has been around for
They were made in
since before the United States.
Yeah, they were. It was started in Bavaria in 1776, I believe.
Yeah, I can pull up
A
who
little bit.
started it. Give me 1 second.
Andrew Weishaupt, I believe. Was it Andrew or it's I can't remember. I had it here and I lost it.
It was Adam Weishaupt.
Yep.
So you were very close, Kiss.
I just didn't pronounce the name right.
And yeah, it says like while I'm scrolling through that it was made to oppose religious influences.
The big one that you would know from that is Galileo.
No, there's a lot of people. that are
Galileo
making
was
it
in the
from there.
Illuminati?
Oh yeah.
Because he was a free thinker. And religion, at the time, religion was a big thing. It is also at the time of the Enlightenment.
Mm.
So if you guys haven't, while we're talking about this, if you haven't seen or read Angels and Demons, highly recommend it. It's all about the Illuminati. It is obviously it's a fiction book written by Dan Brown, but it has a lot of truth in it. And in the book, they get Robert Langdon to help them with an instance where the Pope has died. He actually was murdered in the book, and they're being threatened by the Illuminati. And they talk all about a lot of stuff in the Illuminati, who was in it, and the people they say in the movie and book that are in it were actually in the Illuminati. It's a really good story. Movie was they kind of fucked it up a little bit, but the book's really good.
Another historical figure that was in the Illuminati was Aleister Crowley.
Yep.
Which explains kind of where the ritual dark magic stuff comes from when it comes to Aleister Crowley. He was a weird dude. I read a whole book on him, and it was interesting. But he's not the first person I would go to with magical questions.
It's weird. Like, if you read about the Illuminati, like, when they first were made, it sounds like they would stand for really good things. But now, it's almost like the group that we have now is, like, really corrupted. Holy shit, Shay.
There are a lot of educated professionals that have made their whole point of studying the Illuminati, and if you were to ask them, of course they would say they don't exist. But it may not be the true Illuminati. It may just be that it's a fart. Thought. The Illuminati probably stopped existing late 18th. Guess. If I were to place a bet, it would probably be late.
I have an Illuminati related question. question. So Scientology, we all know, was made up by
Ron L.
Ron L.
Hubbard.
Hubbard.
Oh, Ron Hubbard.
A lot of celebrities are members of Scientology, or are former members of Scientology. Do you think, like, the Illuminati, of course, was created forever ago, but do you think it's possible that the two could be connected? Because
100%.
Scientology seems to have some influence in Hollywood as well.
Scientology is basically the more you pay the church, the more you're enlightened. One of my oldest brother actually, he was going through the whole spiritual crisis thing when you're in your mid to early 20s, and he was making good money at the time, so he went to the Church of Scientology and was like, put me through, what you do. And eventually he couldn't keep going because he ran out of money. And
Amazing.
unless you have enough money to reach the top, where John Travolta is, or Jim Carrey is, I don't know if he's it, but where Tom Cruise is, and blah, 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 that's when you'll be able to make connections to start making more money and be, a big shot. But it's a scam. It's a money-making, tax-exempt scam. And I do believe that the Illuminati is part of it because they control all the money in the world. So why not make their money a religion?
The thing with Scientology, it started as a joke. It started as a fucking bet. Ron L. Hubbard bet, I forget who the bet was with, but he bet someone that he could get people to believe a religion if he made a book about it. And sure enough, he did. Unfortunately, we also have the largest Scientology temple compound in Florida, in Clearwater. And then we have another big one in Ybor. The number of times I've been in Ybor and seen Scientologists walking up and down 7th Avenue talking about Dianetics.
Yeah, it's the book.
Ridiculous. But that honestly could be, the new Illuminati could be a facade for Scientology. Would not.
Yeah, I would believe that.
Can we talk about the Kanye West Kanye quest, since we're talking about religious conspiracy theories and cults?
Kanye West. I don't know what is he doing now?
It's a game that was made a long while ago.
Like on the NES or something?
It wasn't on the NES. It's just literally, it's called Kanye. And it was it was published in 2013 as a heads up. But yeah, it's fucking. The only reason I even know it exists because Game Theory made a video about it.
Yeah, I remember watching the Game Theory video about it.
Yeah, that's the only reason I know about it. Was my mic breaking up?
Yeah.
My headphones were dying, so I had to switch to the Apple one.
Blame Apple.
Blame dying headphones.
Speaking of Apple. Planned obsolescence. Apple products built to break over time. was a conspiracy theory, I think has since been proven true.
Yes, it was proven true.
The what? Sorry.
But my problem is that I don't think just Apple is doing it.
No, I think it was just Apple. I don't think it's just Apple anymore.
No, I think other companies have been doing it for a lot longer. And Apple was just the first one to get caught. Because you ever notice how a washing machine that you bought in 1990 still works, but a washing machine you bought in 2010 needs to be fixed every few years?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anything is built. And part of that is, the materials that they use now are a lot cheaper than some of the materials that were used before that were a lot more durable and long lasting that are now very expensive. So it can be that, but it's also, I think it's a marketing scheme, just like Champion.
Tell me about Champion.
So Champion, if you're a millennial or even Gen X, you'll know that Champion used to be what poor kids wore. Back in the early 2000s and in the 90s, Champion was sold at the dollar store, Walmart. Now, Champion, you see celebrities wearing Champion. Champion's being sold at Forever 21 and, what's that other designer store? Oh, I forget the name, but Champion's still being sold at Walmart and Payless, but it's also being sold at high-end stores for 3, 4, 5 times the price. The Nordstrom is a good one. Nordstrom is a little bit more high-end, it's a little bit more pricey, but they have Champion, but so does Walmart. And it's crazy because kids today that are in high school think that they have to have money to wear Champion, not knowing that they can go to Walmart and get it. That's the whole conspiracy about Champion.
Sounds vaguely familiar. The conspiracy about it. About women's pants and pockets. And how, again, not a conspiracy theory. This one also ended up being true. Women's clothing are intentionally made with small or no pockets, so we will be forced to buy purses and bags. Since we're talking about clothing.
I've never heard that. But to be fair, I don't wear anything with pockets. I don't wear jeans or anything. I wear leggings all the time.
Like, so I can wear my pants and my phone will fit in my back pocket. I wear Brian's pants and I can stick half my arm in his pocket.
I can fit 2 sodas in my pockets.
He can fit 2 sodas in his pockets. Not even joking. I've seen it.
If there's a will, there's a way. Because I refuse to carry a purse most of the time. I will find a way to shove whatever I need to in my pocket.
Yeah, and I was doing some reading. It's like, pockets used to be like a big thing for everybody, like hundreds of years ago. And then, or nobody had no, I have it wrong. Bags were the thing for everybody hundreds of years ago. But then they decided to start making men's clothing have pockets. And women would still have to carry the bags because putting things in pockets will ruin the female figure.
Look at videos of someone getting dressed in period-appropriate attire. And they have pockets. Their dresses were literally, they had different layers, but their dresses, what they wore every single day, were designed to have pockets. Like those bustles that you see on the side of their dresses, those were literally pockets.
Oh.
So that you could fit everything in them that you have to take with you. And that you're picking up from the market.
So then I have a question. if women were allowed to wear dresses and weren't allowed to wear pants, and were used to lots of leg room, why is it that now women are like kind of forced to wear tight pants? Because I am way more comfortable in a pair of men's sweatpants that have pockets that I can fit a laptop in. Like,
Where do you get the idea that we're forced to wear tight pants?
I don't think that we're forced to. I just see that it's a societal norm.
It is pushed to the media. It is.
Yeah. It's a societal norm for women to wear tighter clothes.
To be fair,
But-
as much as I love my comfy sweatpants and pajama pants, man, do leggings make my butt look good. I'm just saying. I can see the reason to wear tight pants. My butt looks really good in them. But otherwise.
That's the word. Okay. And that actually answers your question, Boople. It's designed for women to look good for men.
Whoa, no. I feel good about myself.
No.
No, I agree.
I'm not saying that's why you do it. I'm saying that's why it's pushed in the media.
Absolutely.
So that it's the same reason that shaving became a bigger thing.
That is true.
Shaving companies weren't making enough money for their satisfaction. So their whole solution was to start making it seem like in the media that if you didn't have shaved legs or shaved arms, just shaved bits in general, that you were unattractive.
Shaved bits in general. I'm sorry.
Listen.
I don't know why that made me laugh. I think, okay, it's just side story. It made me laugh because when I got my lip pierced years and years ago, I went with a friend and she's like, I'm gonna get my lip pierced. I'm like, okay. So when we knew the piercer very well, and when she did the paperwork, my friend, when there's a space, what are you getting pierced? She went, lady bits. That's why I laughed when you said bits.
There would be advertising campaign, and you can see this in the 50s. There are actual. Sorry, I have a flower that decided to try and her way over here, and her flower made the table over. You can see actual magazine ads from the 50s that talk about shaving, more directing it at women.
Yeah,
than
I can
men.
see that. I can see that.
Fine, that's where I've seen it.
Yeah, I remember seeing stuff about that, and like, more power to you. You don't want to shave? Cool. I, however, have a really big issue with body hair on myself that I need to shave my legs. I actually have considered waxing because I hate shaving. It's annoying. Though thankfully, as I've gotten older, I haven't had to shave as much.
Yeah, I'm blonde, and I can't remember the last time I shaved my legs, but you can't tell.
Yeah. It's funny because I used to make fun of my sister because my sister has a very strict, from the months of like November to April, when it starts getting warmer, that she doesn't shave. And it's a big joke.
You gotta keep your legs warm.
Yeah, it's a big joke that I call her a Wookiee because, like, when I say my sister can grow hair, she's going to kill me if she ever sees this. When I say that my sister can grow hair on her legs, like fucking a chia pet, like, she will not shave for a day and she looks like a man. She has man legs. Cool. But it's really funny, like, when she met her ex and they hooked up the same night they met, and she hadn't shaved her legs because it was winter, and like they just kind of like were kissing and stuff, and he like went up her leg and he went, didn't realize that you were into Star Wars. And I died. Just died. But yeah, so it's a big thing with my sister. Yeah. She doesn't shave in the winter. Cool. I cannot not shave. I don't care. I can't.
There's one. Smitten.
1950s.
I wasn't there. He told me the story. I was close with her ex. We LARPed together and we played D&D. So he'd like to tell the story in front of people.
You play D&D? Nerd.
I imagine. I like how you picked D&D to call me nerd, but not LARP.
I haven't LARPed. I can't.
Oh my God.
LARPing.
Y'all come here in the summer. I'll take you to a LARP event. It's a whole weekend. It's so much fun.
Deal.
Yeah, there's one. I don't know if this is an actual ad, but I'm 90% sure that it came from an ad. from the 50s. But, yeah. That's just one example of it.
Borrow his razor if you must. Now shave as a lady should. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, that's when it was really starting, is in the 50s, because that was the whole idealistic housewife bullshit with the whole a woman's place is in the home.
Oh my god, I hate that.
Yeah.
No, Shay, no one's coming south. It's too fucking hot. Stop it. Too hot, too hot.
Yeah, I can't do the heat.
Gross,
Yeah, no.
honestly.
Ooh, let's talk about the fake moon landing. I don't
Yay.
adjust to shit, Shay.
Honestly, though, Shay, I don't know that that's any truer here. There are dumbasses who still want skinny twigs in the South. I know you live in the South too, but
Apparently the UK likes them too. I mean,
I'm gonna go grab a conspiracy snack real quick. I will be
a
right back.
conspiracy snack going on.
Hey, Bryn. Hair.
I hear.
Alright, so
Yeah, now that we're switching subjects.
moon landing. Some people think Stanley Kubrick staged the moon landing. Why him specifically, I don't know.
He was known for having a very fantastical directing style. I mean, look at The Shining.
It's good.
Okay, I'm back.
So the theory I've heard is that I've heard a couple that we didn't actually go to the moon. We were faking it to, win the space race. The second theory I heard was that we did go to the moon, but we purposely didn't go back with humans. We obviously went back with like cameras and robots and stuff, but I heard that we didn't go back because we saw something we weren't supposed to there.
I love that. I love all those. We don't go back to the moon because we've seen something we're not supposed to, or we
Right.
haven't explored
the
deeper
moon.
oceans because NASA did it first and they know things.
I did hear that one where we stopped exploring the ocean suddenly, and now we're looking to move to Mars. Like, what did we find?
Well,
Like,
and yet,
a lot of the. You go ahead, Ark.
and yet we are going back to the moon in the next few years.
So they say.
A lot.
Project Artemis.
Yeah. So they say.
A lot of the ones that say, we saw something in the ocean, that's why we're not exploring it more, is because NASA started as ocean exploration, but according to Hank Green, and I trust Hank Green, that's not true.
That's true, Raz. We know more about space than we know about the ocean. That is true. We didn't really. You don't really hear about us exploring the ocean. Like, there's so much of the ocean we've never touched. Why? Why can we go to space, but we can't go explore?
I mean, maybe we just.
I have a theory about that.
Okay.
Do we,
My
Shay?
theory.
Have you seen the flag?
It's all white now because of the sun.
Yeah, they also say that they put not Game Theory. Oh my god, Big Bang Theory did an episode, and I did read about it, where they talked about there's a lens on the moon where you can bounce a laser off it, so you know that we were there.
I've heard that
Yeah.
minimally, but I don't think it's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
I would love to bounce a laser off the moon, though. That sounds amusing.
My theory about the reason why we haven't explored a lot of the ocean is because there are creatures down there that do not want our presence and have declared this is a no touchy zone. This whole area below X feet level is the ocean's no square.
So basically, Godzilla got it. So on that topic, we can talk about the theory that the big gas fire there was in the ocean, like, and the bombs they dropped off of Florida, the coast of Florida, and the containers that supposedly had creatures in it, and the submarine that they found in 3 pieces that went missing. Like, people are saying that this is a creature of the ocean that they were trying to either get rid of or they found, etc. It got loose, whatever.
I can't speak for the submarine. That one blows my mind, and I've got absolutely no idea.
You're welcome, Shay.
But the containers, the big ocean containers that they were talking about, like, that was like grains and shit that they were
I believe
shipping,
that.
like.
I totally believe it.
But the fire and the submarine, I got nothing.
Yeah, so supposedly the submarine, they think the submarine had a leak and it basically exploded from the inside out because of the pressure. Fair. But it was found in 3 pieces, and it said it looked like it was cut, which obviously it could have been an explosion. They never found the bodies. They all went missing. And again, it's the ocean. Of course, they probably wouldn't find them. That's pretty like, you can explain that. But a lot of people think it was a creature. And then we have the bombs that they were dropping into the ocean. Data tells me, because I know he'll yell at me if I don't say it, that it's something they've been doing for years, but we've never heard about. I've literally never fucking heard about it until he said it. That's how they test their naval ships to make sure they're good enough to, withstand. Never heard of it. I can't remember what it's called, but was his explanation.
Well, because that's like Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob. The island was based on that Bikini Bottom is under. Was based on an actual location where they did like nuclear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bikini Island's a thing.
Yeah, that's it. Bikini Island.
Yeah.
And there's a fun
your
theory.
Questions, Jay. It's because she's been scratching at her eye, and we're trying doing that, so we don't have to do surgery on her eye. So she gets the cone, scratch at it.
A cone of shame.
But it's a nicer cone of. It's more
Um,
comfortable. It's basically a giant.
A donut.
But also, the movie The Meg also talks about the ocean, and that's how they find the Meg, is that they go down into basically the floor of the ocean, and it's not actually like the floor, it's actually like just a barrier that you could just go through, and it's because the hot and cold water. And they go down there, and they find the Meg. It attacks them. They get out, and then they go exploring again. And this time when they come back through, the shark follows them through that barrier because they let that stream through that it can come through. And that's how the Meg comes through in the movie. So a lot of people like put that to that being a thing as well. I wish we could explore the ocean. I get it. They're scary shit. I've seen some giant squid videos, man.
Right?
Things are intelligent and scary, but like, and like I've seen the videos of people like with mermaids that are down in the ocean that they've come across. Like there was a video of them being underwater in like a not a submarine, but like a boat. I can't think of what to call it. But on the window they heard something, and when they looked, there was somebody with like their hand on the outside of the window, and it was webbed.
I saw that one. That one there, everybody was like, "Oh, that's fake." Blah blah blah. Yeah, no, that one was real.
Yeah, Shay. I think mermaids are real. I 100% think they're real.
Wes would also like the link to that video.
I'll have to find it. But there's been a
think
lot of videos over the years of mermaids and stuff. Oh wait, we're not talking about aliens yet. We'll get to them. I'll come back to that. And pigs can fly, right? Why don't you believe in mermaids?
Wait, who said that? Let me go to the chat.
Oh, Shay.
Shay said pigs can fly. Listen.
Well, see, here's my thing on why I believe mermaids exist. So you know how prehistoric man there were several different types of human species?
Yeah.
And then eventually they all died out, and the one that lived is the one that we are now. And there's theories that Bigfoot, I know we're not on the topic of Bigfoot, but Bigfoot is like an offshoot of Homo sapien.
Yeah, missing link.
Well, what if when our amphibious selves came out of the water and evolved, what if some of us, after we evolved into humans, said F this place and went back to the water? And
I would 100% say if this place if I had the choice.
I mean, the ocean's too scary for me. I'm happy right here, but you can send me a postcard or a seashell or something.
I couldn't for the fact of sharks. I'm terrified. I had a close encounter when I was 8. Can't do sharks anymore. But yeah, I 100% believe that mermaids are a thing. What if there were unicorns a long time ago, but they evolved to not have a horn anymore because they didn't need it?
Honestly, that's believable. That much is believable.
Yeah.
We have rhinoceroses.
Yeah.
Those are basically unicorns.
But yeah, they needed their
Oh, yeah.
horn, so they kept their horn.
My state.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
state's gonna end up underwater.
California's gonna be underwater too.
Yeah, the national animal of Scotland is the
We know the
unicorn.
same about the forests as we do the oceans.
This is
The forests are just as
Wales.
scary.
Wales is national as a dragon.
Yeah.
Nice.
There are
Um,
theories
Well,
that
correctly.
certain mountains, like mountain ranges, are actually like the backs of dragons.
I
could see
love
it.
that. I don't believe it, but I love it.
Yeah, I don't believe that one.
I-
but I like it.
I could believe that.
There's
Because think about it. If that big beast has to hibernate, something that big could hibernate for years,
Well,
decades.
I mean, there's a mountain range that blows a complete hole in that theory, which is the Appalachian Mountain Trail, the mountain, because those are older than dinosaurs.
Yeah, but I mean, it could apply to some mountain ranges and not all of
Yeah,
them.
it's not all of them. I could see it, but I don't think I believe it really. It's like the same as saying like they found the supposed fossils of like the giant snakes that used to be around the Titanoboas, and a lot of people say it's actually I can't fucking pronounce the snake in fucking whatever history it is that's supposed to circle the world and kill it. A lot of people. Yeah, Norse. Thank you. But a lot of people think it's that snake. Like they've seen the fossils, but everyone's saying they're stones that are carved like the fossils. But a lot of people think they're fossils because we've seen videos of like the earth moving and stuff like that around them.
Nidhogg.
seen
Nidhogg is
I
what
think
you're
it was
talking about.
TikTok where like they're showing images of rock formations that do look like giant snake heads.
Yes. But those snakes were like a real thing. They were alive during the dinosaur age, the prehistoric age. But a lot of people think they're not fossils, but they're hibernating.
If you go to the Bronx Zoo, they're zoos, but they have like life-size fossils of birds that used to roam the United States, and some of these birds are 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be terrified. I would never leave the house if these birds existed.
That's a good point, Shay. Were there really dinosaurs? That is also a theory that there were never dinosaurs. That the fossils we have are not real dinosaur fossils.
Okay, but like chickens are dinosaurs.
Yep.
And friggin' ostriches.
Yeah, a lot of people don't say that. We're talking T-Rexes and raptors.
Like a cassowary. That's a fucking dinosaur.
I think
The T-Rex's most closely related descendant is chicken.
Yeah.
Like
They're-
when. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, there are a couple of like dinosaur skeletons and whatever that have been proven to just be a combination of different dinosaur skeletons.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
one of the long neck ones. I don't remember. Brontosaurus.
But like when they were making Jurassic Park, they were trying to make it as realistic as possible. And it's like, where have I seen this before? And someone's just like, oh, I know where I've seen that before. It's a chicken. It walks like a chicken.
Yeah.
So that would also do the implication of T-Rexes, at least, had feathers,
Yeah.
which makes them infinitely more interesting.
These something?
And that's the thing about dinosaurs that not a lot of people know is that
Podcast?
paleontologists and archaeologists, we don't know what they looked like at all.
Mm-hmm.
So the pictures that you see of dinosaurs are literally just this is what we think they looked like. But I
Could you
mean,
imagine a
you're
T-Rex
right.
just covered in fucking feathers with its little tiny arms like flapping around like "Rawr!"
I mean, that would also actually.
Brian would like to say something.
No. Come on, Brian.
Okay.
T-Rexes would be delicious.
I
But
believe that.
If you think about it, with their short arm, that would actually make sense with wings.
Yeah, it does. Also, I've had alligator, and I can confirm that alligator is really good. So I can only imagine that a T-Rex is fucking delicious.
But that also just, you know how T-Rexes have this deep, deep roar? Could you just imagine what that would actually sound like if it was just a much larger chicken sound?
Can you imagine what Dawn would be like if it was a cockadoodle-doo of monstrous proportions?
It'd wake up an entire town.
Like, fuck a town. That'd wake up the world. Every chicken every morning would just go cock-a-doodle-doo. Like, but just with a subwoofer. Just. Oh my god.
I can't even imagine.
Alarm clocks would not exist.
I wouldn't need one.
So Shay, try to think of a T-Rex not like how you would see it, how we like are thought to like a reptile. Because we don't know if that's true.
Not like how you hear in Jurassic Park, where it's just this roar. But instead you hear just this deep, high, not deep, but like high pitched, but very loud.
Okay, let me explain to you how I see this in my head. Have you all seen Up?
Yes.
The fucking mean ass Doberman who you think is gonna have the deep fucking voice and has the high pitch. That's what I imagine when you say that. Just see a T-Rex like coming out, and you're waiting for it, and he goes. Like, can you just imagine?
Oh my god.
It's not deep, but it's loud.
What if actually I never thought of that. What if dinosaurs as we think of them actually did not exist and they're all completely different species of like mammals?
Yeah.
Like, have we proven that they're reptiles? How has that been proven? They'd
probably be more closely related to avian than mammals.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a long neck dinosaur covered in feathers?
Yeah, it'd be like an ostrich.
That would be amazing.
Why, when you said that, I just heard Carnus come out. Like,
or like
ostrich.
What was the one from Land Before Time? She was kind of like the bossy one.
Sarah.
What kind of dinosaur was she? Triceratops. Imagine that, but covered in like feathers or fur or something.
That would be
I wouldn't be able to take her seriously.
I wouldn't
She'd be a
either.
lot more intimidating.
Also, that leads me to a Disney conspiracy. Land Before Time.
Look up cassowaries. Cassowaries are terrifying.
Do you know the little girl who played the voice of Ducky from Land Before Time was murdered?
Yeah, she was
murdered
by her dad.
suicide.
Mm-hmm.
They look like evil emus, is what they look like. They're creepy. Here.
Look them up. They're amazing looking. Horrifying, but amazing.
Oh yeah.
They sound even worse.
Wait, what is it?
Looking thing.
Cassowary.
Cassowary. Oh, look at the feet.
Cassuary.
EASSULRY.
ARY.
Those feet are friggin'.
They are in
Definitely.
Australia.
They would be in Australia.
I'm so sorry, Ark. Can you spell that again?
EASSAUAARY. I think.
CEASSOWARY
Oh.
is what Google corrected me to.
Can you just type it in the chat? Somebody.
Okay, CASSO. There we go. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yo. Cassowaries are terrifying. They're great.
Show me how fast Boople can run without showing me how fast Boople can run.
Oh, you want to talk about you want to talk about insectoid thing, Shay? This one isn't in Australia. But look up a coconut crab.
A coconut crab?
Seen those
Coconut crab.
and no.
My Mark, why do I just not trust you right now? Oh, sweet baby Jesus, close.
Like a hermit crab,
Mm-mm.
but big.
I never close Google faster than that.
Oh, right there.
You ever heard of it?
Shade, no thank you, that's right.
What about people scared about being tracked when you carry around a thing you use every day that tracks you? Says Raz.
Oh yeah, the whole conspiracy theory about the government tracking you through the the vaccine.
They're gonna inject a chip into me and they're gonna track me. Like, bitch, you
You
have
don't
a
have
cell
to. You
phone.
bought the phone.
And there is no microchip small enough that you could inject with the vaccine that they do.
Wait, what?
Not yet. Not yet. True.
What would you say before? I didn't hear you.
There's no microchip small enough.
There is though.
They have microchips that they can put under your skin, but they don't have one that's small enough that they can inject into a needle and out of a needle.
Yeah, that's most of what I was getting. And there's also the whole thing of the vaccine makes you magnetic, or is going to give you superpowers. It's like
5G.
Yes, it's like yes, please for the second with superpowers,
Right.
but magnetic, really?
Yeah, I
I've
don't believe the
seen
magnetic one.
TikTok where some dude was claiming that his vaccine made him magnetic, so he had a little magnet that he put on his arm, and it stuck. But then he did a follow-up video, and it didn't not stick. And he's like, "Okay, I was wrong. It didn't make me magnetic." Like he made a bullshit video. He made a follow-up video to disprove his bullshittery, and then he admitted that he was wrong.
Well, at least someone admitted they were wrong for once.
Right?
It doesn't.
I don't think
The stupidity of 45 medical person though. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right, Timeless?
I think so.
With her lizard people and sex with demons and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Wait.
Hold on, lizard people, hold on.
Oh man.
Oh my god. She was horrifyingly stupid, and she was a licensed doctor.
Oh, sweetheart, I talk on the phone to doctors all day long. They're the dumbest people I've ever spoken to in my life. You know when you have to dumb down something to explain it to somebody? I don't know if you've ever gotten to the point where you cannot make yourself to a certain level of stupid so that somebody else can understand. Like, there's only so far I can dumb my... Like, point is, do not trust that everybody who works in the medical field is smart.
Oh, no, I'm not I don't trust that. I'm trying to find the person that was what her name.
I don't remember her name. I just remember she was stupid.
Ah, there it is. Stella Emanuel. Like, she was beyond insane.
Putting it nicely.
What did she do?
So,
Stella.
She the president retweeted a video from her,
Former president.
the former president, 45, retweeted a video from this woman who talked about hydroxychloroquine or whatever the fuck it was called. And she also mentioned in that video that the government was run by reptilians, and that there was also something about demons having astral sex with women. It causes.
Oh, I remember you guys talking about her.
Yeah. It was.
You said her name was Stella what?
Emmanuel.
See, the bad thing about people like that is they have the crazy part and some things that are truth, but no one believes the truth because the other shit that they said is fucking insane. It's how they get you.
Yeah, and like I know there are a lot of people. Well, I don't know about a lot, but there's a number of people who do think that the government is run by lizard people. So that one's not just her.
That I would be a little bit more willing to believe.
There's a lot of evidence.
I would be more. I would be more willing to believe about that bit. About that bit, but the rest of it, I'm just like.
Yeah, she basically was like hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, like the hydroxychloroquine.
Hydrochloroquine and carotene, and that social distancing.
There's a lag.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. It's mostly about her thing with in sermons posted on YouTube. This is a quote from the Daily Beast. In sermons posted on YouTube and articles on her website, Emmanuel claims that medical issues like endometriosis, cysts, infertility, and impotence are caused by sex with spirit wives.
I remember this.
A phenomenon Emmanuel describes essentially as witches and demons having sex with people in a dream world. They are responsible for all serious gynecological problems, he said. We call them all kinds of endometriosis, we call them molar pregnancy, we call them fibroid cysts. Most of them are evil deposits from the husband, Emmanuel said of the medical issues in a 2013 sermon. They are responsible for miscarriages, impotence, men that can't get it up. He also mentions Nephilim.
Sorry, not to cut you off, Arcana. She basically said that STDs are caused by spirit spouses.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and not STDs, but like endometriosis, PCOS, miscarriages, all of the like gynecological issues that are health related, that are genetically related, are due to spirit spouses and having astral sex with them.
I don't think my husband would be too happy with this, because I have PCOS, so that means that like
You've been doing the dirty with a demon.
That's what I'm saying. Just like when this first came out, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like when I was seeing that, I'm just like, what is this woman smoking? But damn, it must be good.
like I'm just trying to imagine if like, because I just recently told we're getting married in like 2 weeks, so I'm just getting used to calling him my husband, but my fiance. Basically, like I told him, I was like, part of like husband and wife things is that like we go to doctor's appointments with each other so that like, we can support each other and blah blah blah. And I'm just like envisioning going to a gynecologist with my husband, and this woman is my doctor, and basically just sits me and my husband down, looks us dead in the eye, and says, "She been cheating. She been a hoe." And he's like, "With who?" And she goes, "With the spirits of your house, child." Like, I can just see this in my mind, and it's hilarious. Can you just imagine being like, oh my god, I would laugh so hard. I'd be like, bitch, can you just say that all over again so I can make a
Let me
TikTok?
record you saying this.
No, that you're saying it, I can see it happening.
Oh my god. I would That's where my brain goes. When you give me a hypothetical situation, my brain makes a whole movie about it.
The best way to do it.
It's
Oh.
a little.
So
That's
since we're
hilarious.
talking about this woman and the reptilians came up, this isn't about reptilians. This is specifically about aliens, but it made me think about it because we're talking about crazy pants. So there's a movie. There's a movie that came out in 1988, and it's called They Live, and it was directed by John Carpenter. It's based on something called 8 O'Clock in the Morning by Ray Nelson. And the movie is basically about this guy who comes across these special glasses that allow him to see what the real world is. So basically he puts it on and like he sees magazines and it has all these subliminal messages that are actually in the magazine and TV and stuff they want you to like think about. And like when he puts them on to like watch the news, it's all run by aliens. The whole world is run by aliens. Is basically the plot. It's just really interesting because we brought up reptilians that are controlling the government that a lot of people think is true, or aliens. That
Which one?
What?
It made me think of Marjorie Taylor Greene and her Jewish space lasers.
I was reading shit, that's why I couldn't remember what the fuck the movie was called. My stepdad showed me it. But it's really decent.
Shay, I wish I could see your face.
But we should watch it sometime. It's really good.
It's in the list.
I'm pretty
There's
sure.
actually
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, there's actually a dude that's running same district as her that's trying to get her out.
Imagine.
I've been following him. He seems pretty cool.
That's good.
Might as well jump into the talk about reptilians and aliens at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
And the fact that a dad killed his 2 kids over it.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's really
That was
sad.
recent, actually, wasn't it?
It was really
Yeah,
recent.
It was recent.
It is
That was,
incredibly
like,
sad.
last month.
Didn't he
month,
like think his kids were like reptilian spies from the government or something?
something like that.
Sad.
Yeah,
Yeah, Shay. Let's look it up.
It's incredibly sad.
But I mean, that also goes
QAnon
right
and
along with
serpent
the.
DNA.
That also goes along with the Illuminati, since
It
that
does.
has a lot to do with the.
A lot of
with the
people actually
reptilian
think
people.
that Joe Biden is a reptilian. And the reason is because there's been videos of him in interviews and stuff where like his face has changed.
Okay, I found it.
There's interviews with like Britney Spears from like when she was young and super popular and everything, and where they're like, oh, her eyes when she blinks they go sideways instead of up and down. It's like that was so clearly edited.
Yeah, like things like that are definitely edited. But there are some convincing videos. Like obviously I don't know. I don't really believe that.
I mean, nowadays we can do deep fakes and those are scary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just real quick, guys. And I just want to like mention this case just because these are all just theories that we're talking about. None of them have been proven true yet, hence the word theory. So don't go overboard like this guy did. In California, a surfing school owner was charged with killing his 2 children, 2-year-old son and 10-month-old daughter, because he was a follower of QAnon, Illuminati conspiracy theories, and he thought his children were going to grow into monsters, so he had to kill them. Basically, he thought his kids had serpent DNA.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, aliens.
It's sad. But so these reptilians are thought to be behind like 9/11, the Holocaust, the Oklahoma City bombings, anything major like that. They're thought to be behind. Some of the people they think that are reptilians were Queen Elizabeth, George Bush, Henry Kissinger, Bill and Hillary Clinton, Bob Hope, Joe Biden apparently, are all thought to be reptilians. And also they have ties to the Freemasons and the Illuminati, obviously.
Of course. Kind of bouncing off of, I guess, reptilians. Feels in the same vein as aliens. Towards the end, I think, of Trump's presidency, some other, like, government officials of other countries came out and said that aliens are real.
I 100% believe aliens are real.
And that they live among us and you can't tell the difference. And
So-
like, we have been in contact with them and all this other stuff.
So that was what I was going to say, that in order for me to actually believe in aliens, which I do, I've seen some shit, but I don't think, like, people are always like, oh, they're going to invade, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's the case if they already are here. If there are aliens, they are here. They've already, quote unquote, invaded. They're here. That's just my theory.
Someone said something, or someone shared a TikTok the other day and just said, no way that, yes, aliens probably do exist, but there's no way they would invade the Florida of the universe.
Yeah.
I heard that too. I've also heard that they came and they fucking left because we're a bunch of fucking morons.
Yeah.
But, like,
It.
think about it. There's books, there's cave carvings, paintings. We can talk about the door in Peru. There's so many cultures with thousands of years between them, miles between them, and they all depict the same shit.
There's
Literally.
a thing that you might be interested in, Kiss, called Skinwalker Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
I know what this is. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There is a huge amount of information. Like, there have been government studies done on, and no one knows what the fuck is happening because there's actual places on the ranch where cattle mutilations have happened.
I've heard of
And
it.
it wasn't
All their
surgery.
insides are gone.
All their insides are gone. The feminine organs are gone.
Yeah.
Their eyes are gone. Their tongue is gone. And
Yeah.
And they're
it's fucking nuts. And they have a show now on it that's just finished the second season in July. But it's fascinating to watch all of that. And it's like, what in the world? Like, there's some stuff that seems far-fetched, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's like weird, like it's far-fetched and it's not. Like there's, oh god, where is it? I know it's in Peru. So there's a door. It's not really a door, it's a wall. But it looks like there's a cutout of a door and there's a perfect circular indentation in this door. And it's said by like the tribes that surround the area that their chief had this circular golden disc, and he kept saying that he converses with these other beings that live in the sky. And that one day he walked up to this door, he put the circular disc into the door, and he disappeared through it and was never seen again. And it's thought that he went with aliens. They're the people in the sky, basically. But there's cultures all over the world who have never met each other that draw cave drawings and pictures and carvings of these same beings that came from the sky. Who the fuck are they talking about? Who?
Yeah.
How could they possibly all depict the same thing, you know?
So, bouncing off of what everybody has just said, the Skinwalker Ranch, they've had a few owners in the past. Obviously, the owners were really quick to sell it. One of the biggest reasons is that every night was literally a battle. And every night at the Skinwalker Ranch, there would be somewhere between 75 to 200 beings surrounding the ranch.
Lag.
Sorry.
Hold
And,
on. Let you even out for a second. There was 75 to 200, what now?
Beings around the ranch.
Okay.
I haven't heard that bit.
Yes. And they were all ready to attack and the guy, one of the owners, before he finally gave the keys to the people that own it now, they basically were like, every night you're gonna have to fight for your fucking life and fight to protect this property, because if not, they will come and they will destroy it and they will kill you. So basically, the Skinwalker Ranch is a ginormous hotspot for paranormal and alien activity, and it always has been. The door that Kiss was talking about, there's it's crazy because there's another one similar to it on the other side of the Earth that people talk about the same thing happening. And again, these cultures are separated by hundreds of thousands of miles.
Right.
How the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And my personal theory about aliens, and I've shared this on TikTok, is that Area 51, the government showed us what Area 51 was in Men in Black 2. It is intergalactic customs. Like, it's when you cross the border from the US to Canada, what's your business in the United States type of thing? Or what's your business in Canada? That's what it is. That's why nobody can get in, because you can't get in unless you're traveling or you work there.
It's an interesting theory. Like, I could definitely see that. But yeah, I definitely think if there's aliens, they're already here. It's not a matter of when they're going to invade. It's too late. Like, they've been here.
A couple of things that I didn't mention about Skinwalker. Something that's been interesting in the past 2 seasons is that there are strong magnetic interference that happens at certain points on the ranch. And it's only happens to one person's cell phone, which is why it's kind of odd and a little unbelievable. But his phone constantly gets hacked, and it's just numbers going across the screen, and it goes into different apps, and it opens different things, and it shuts different things, and it's just like, it's bizarre that it's only his phone.
Yeah.
Like, that's where it gets to be a little bit odd, unbelievable. The rest of it is just interesting, and it's believable because they also show you the science too.
Yeah. I have to check
But
that out.
that is unexplained.
Have you guys ever heard of Bob Lazar?
It sounds familiar. I'm sure I have, but
So Bob Lazar is basically the whistleblower of Area 51. He basically went public and showed what he was working on at Area 51, how aliens have achieved flight the way that they have, and space travel and blah blah blah. And he's went so far as to show his pay stubs from Area 51.
Okay.
And like, you can just type in Bob Lazar Area 51 pay stub on Google, and it's like the first thing. And he's gone on Coast to Coast AM. There's YouTube. I don't know if you guys ever watch Gaia TV on YouTube. But he's been on there, and he exposes Area 51 for basically debunking my theory, but I think my theory is still semi-correct in some way. I think there's got to be an intergalactic customs somewhere. But I mean, because think about it. If aliens have been coming here since the beginning of time, and humans have been recording it, why not our government be greedy as fuck and think of a way to charge them galactic currency every time they want to fucking come over?
Did we actually find those documents from the government about aliens?
They were really hard to find. Basically, you can find snippets of it.
Okay.
But you have to request it.
Oh, okay. So they know who to kill. Got it.
Yeah.
They knew who to come after. Got it.
Freedom of information is a beautiful thing.
So if you really want it, you can request it, but I doubt that their turnaround time is going to be quick.
I also don't want to request it so they know who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
Definitely.
we got the Pentagon released UFO videos. Government report finds no evidence UFOs were alien,
Oh, that's what I was going to
but
talk
can't
about.
rule it out either.
So
Yep.
I'm going to tell you the night that I'm convinced I saw an alien ship.
Ooh.
So I used to deliver newspapers. So what that entails is I had to get up at 2:00 in the morning every morning.
Ugh.
I drank a lot of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go to the depot. They would, every carrier had like their list of people, and you would get that number plus a couple extras of the newspapers, and you would wrap them and put them in a bag, and then load them into your car, and then you had your list, and you would drop them off at their houses. So I was out from like 3 to 4 a.m. until like 6, 7 a.m. So I was driving in this little remote area. It's not like I don't live in like the city, but I don't live in like the middle of nowhere either. I'm like in between. But I was driving and I had stopped because I was new to this route. This was a second route that I had to take. And I happened to look up in the sky because I was looking at the stars because it was really clear that night. There was no clouds. It was the dark of the moon. Yeah, there was nothing in the sky but stars. And now I have watched stars. I've seen shooting stars. I paranormal investigate. I looked up and I saw a light in the sky. It looked like a star, but it was like zigzagging all over the sky. And then it just zoomed off into the space. And I'm like, oh. And then there was a really weird siren sound, but it wasn't like a siren. It's just the only way I can really describe it. But it was like a siren that wasn't a siren. I don't really know how to explain the sound I heard. For like, it happened for like 10 seconds after I saw this thing, and then it stopped, and everything was literally dead quiet. No animal sounds, no cricket sounds, no nothing. And I promptly left the area.
When I was little, I was in the back of my dad's car, and I think he was driving me back to my mom's house. And off in the distance, I saw something in the sky. It was circular, and it was very reflective, and I was so convinced that it was a UFO. It was aliens or something. But a while later, I was watching, I think it was Fact or Faked, where, people would have
Yeah.
these videos and they would try to disprove them. And I determined what I saw was probably a weather balloon.
That's fair. That's fair.
Speaking of Men in Black, look up the real.
The real Men in Black?
There are legit. Well, I learned about this through BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Hollywood and the Great UFO Cover-Up.
The real life Men in Black are supposed to be allegedly really, really fucking tall as, pasty as fuck, plastic looking motherfuckers with red ass lips, no hair anywhere on their bodies, and just look really fucking creepy. But they only come to talk to you after you've had an encounter with a UFO.
Is it because they're UFOs
Supposed to.
themselves?
Did they come to you, Kiss?
Because
No, they didn't.
because they're supposedly alien.
Because I didn't have contact with the alien. I just happened to see something in the sky that wasn't normal, and then hear a very weird siren.
Again,
There's another theory about why that is, and it was because they're actually clones. But anyway, that's enough. Just Timeless, what were you saying? Sorry.
Oh, I was saying I found the thing where the government said the aliens are among us. It was a former Israeli space security chief says extraterrestrials exist and Trump knows about it.
I believe that. 100% believe it.
A galactic federation has been waiting for humans to reach a state where we will understand what space and spaceships are.
I feel like that day will not come anytime soon because I think we're all way too afraid of it.
Yeah, and that's why, maybe this is more conspiracy theory. That's why we have Space Force.
Fucking Space
I think
Force.
if the government just came out and said
Hold
no.
on. I have a very good friend that is in the Air Force right now. And let me tell you that Space Force is the biggest fucking joke to them in the world.
I have no doubt.
They literally, everyone that I know in the military, especially him in the Air Force, and I've talked to his friends that are in the Air Force, it is the biggest fucking joke in the military.
Oh yeah.
Next to the crayon eating joke. Like, it's up there.
That doesn't surprise
I mean,
me.
that's nothing but a.
Yeah.
It's a legit thing.
For Trump.
It's a legit thing because even like the Navy Federal Credit Union, like the military-based credit union,
Yeah.
mentioned Space Force
Yeah.
as being one of the things that they'll take care of the family members of and the members of. It's
It's
like,
just insane. It's insanity.
Jesus Christ.
It's insanity.
It's like, what the fuck? Okay.
I think if the government came out though and was just basically like, we're gonna show y'all what aliens are, and we're just gonna let you know now that they're real and that they've been here, but we're gonna pre-warn you, they are not giant cockroaches. I think a lot of people's minds would be at ease if we were just told up front they're not giant insects. Because I'm sorry, but I'm gonna take the easy way out if I have to live in a world with insects that are 6 foot tall. I'm sorry. That's a no for me. I'm Audi 5000. Thank you.
A lot of people would believe it, but then we'd also have everyone who's like, that's
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like
Yeah, but, like-
I feel like we have like conspiracy theories. I feel like we are told things that are so unbelievable so that when they slip in the true things that are real, we're just like, no way. That's not real.
Did you mean all of 2020?
Yeah, basically, yes.
Speaking
All
of
this
things
bullshit's
that aren't real,
happening, so they
I don't-
release videos of aliens and like, yeah, okay.
Also, a lot of people call that a distraction from what's actually happening in the world.
Yeah.
No, the
That's true.
distraction was putting out the Tiger King and that one other show at the same exact time.
What was the other show?
There was 2. I forget what. God, Kiss, help me out. There was Tiger King
I remember Tiger
and
King.
Don't Fuck with Cats.
Oh my god.
They put them shits out like 2 weeks in between each other. Like right when the pandemic started, and they were like, "All right,
Thank
this
you,
ain't
Shay.
working." Release.
I was gonna mention that too. Like we had COVID, and then all of a sudden we had killer fucking wasps. Where did the wasps go? Where did they go?
I remember my brother-in-law watching Don't Fuck with Cats. Which was super interesting. The little bit of it that I did see.
Oh, it's great. It's a wonderful documentary. It's very well
Also,
made.
I'm gonna mention this because COVID, and I know like it's different for me because I don't watch a lot of news, but I pay attention to what's going on. So when COVID first hit, it was everywhere. That's all I fucking heard about everywhere. The second wave that's supposedly worse than the first. I barely hear anything about COVID anymore. I do, and it's just not. I don't hear it much anymore. It's crazy. It's like I'm hearing about all the other stuff. Like I'm not hearing as much as I did the first wave we got. I'm just like, damn. Like,
Well, again,
We're
speaking.
more like in our 3rd or 4th wave.
yeah, they still
Yeah.
consider it the second wave though, because Delta.
But like, it started with 2020 started with like talks of COVID, but COVID didn't shut shit down until March. And then after everything was shut down, or no, right before, that was when Australia was on fire.
Yeah.
Yep.
And during that time, that's when the theory of Australia not being real came out. And and then after Australia wasn't real, it was the birds aren't real.
Those 2 theories have been out for a while.
Oh, hold on.
So
Shay said something. Can we talk about how we're supposed to have flying cars and hoverboards too now?
Right.
They do have flying cars. They just haven't been put out yet. And I'm kind of glad because we can't drive. I can only imagine what's going to be like with people flying cars. So I'm
Right. So suddenly a car's crashed into the side of a skyscraper.
Oh my god. I came back from a cruise vacation.
So,
At the end of the week, we got shut down.
2020 started with Australia on fire in January, and then we had the threat of World War III in February, and then we had COVID for the rest of the year, and then we had summer in like May, everything with George Floyd and everything like that, and then we had the killer wasps, and then we had the election. Oh god, the election was such a fucking.
What I heard
Well,
was
let's post on fire.
we're playing a very intense game of Jumanji with our world, and I'm not
Yep.
happy about it. Someone call it out, please.
That's another conspiracy theory.
Actually, the theory that I know is that the world actually ended in 2012 when they turned on the super collider and we ended up in a black hole, and that's why all the bad shit started happening in 2012.
Oh,
I'm looking, Shay.
There's another theory with that because of the way the calendars change with the Gregorian calendar, we're actually 8 years behind. So what was supposed to happen in 2012 is actually 2020.
I've heard that, but
That
I don't
makes
believe.
a lot of sense.
I've heard
Theory
that.
that we entered another dimension in 2012.
Yeah, I don't believe the one where this is technically 2012. I don't really think I believe that one, but I've heard of it.
I don't really believe in either of them.
I believe the other one. I don't know about, I think we'd be dead if that really happened, but it's interesting to think about because that was a huge fucking concern when they talked about turning on the super collider. I remember clearly the night that they turned it on because I was driving to pick up my ex from work. It was like in the middle of the night and there was this crazy intense lightning storm. We never get lightning storms here. Like, it does not happen here. Heat or otherwise, it does not happen. And there was this crazy lightning storm. It was really windy. We lost power everywhere for a really long time. I remember it very, very clearly.
See, nothing really stood out. 12.
I didn't realize anything was turned on in 2012.
Yeah, it was a huge thing. It was a huge thing.
I missed it.
Dan Brown actually wrote part about it in a book too. I think it was
Well-
was it The Lost Symbol? I don't know if it was The Lost Symbol. No, it was Angels and Demons. They talked about it with antimatter and stuff.
I do believe the theory that we were pushed into like a parallel universe for 2020 because here's my theory on it. In 2010, I want to say, 2010, Family Guy came out with the Multiverse episode.
I remember that. I love that. I love that episode.
I love that episode. I have that episode literally memorized. I've watched it so many times.
Same.
And oh my god. And I think that was one of those moments where they were telling us the government's playing with this and they don't have it figured out right.
We just got
And
fucking
I
stuck
think
on this
that-
one.
I think that they played with it so much that they accidentally brought us to another dimension for 2020, and the entire year they were trying to figure out how to get us back.
That doesn't explain 2021.
Well,
Trying
we're
to
not
figure it
completely
out.
back yet.
Yeah, maybe.
We're still trying to figure it out.
It's interesting though, because it's literally like we hit 2019 was great, and then 2020 hit, and it was just like the fucking world caught on fire. It was insane.
Literally, an entire continent was on fire.
Yeah, we talked about that Raz earlier. Fun fact:
Most
Simpsons
of
also
it-
predicted COVID and wasps and killer
mean-
wasps.
Most of the world was on fire in 2020, considering half
Isn't
of
that
the
when-
U.S.
Yeah.
Half of the U.S. was on fire too.
I know.
That
I
was
was speaking
so
metaphorically.
shitty.
I was speaking metaphorically, but yes.
I knew you were, but half of the U.S. was on fire. Thanks
I was in
to-
that half.
Yup, thanks to some stupidity from white people with a gender reveal party.
Yeah, that's why I don't consider myself a white person. I'm Italian. Don't lump me in with those people. They're crazy.
I consider my, even though I know a distinction is not a difference, I consider myself more German white people. But
I feel like when people say white people, they mean white American people. Like,
Yep.
I swear to God, it's just
that is
become a
exactly
thing.
what that's basically what that means.
If you say a white person, they go, "Oh, in America."
Yeah. What about Project this?
What's Project Pig? I think I've heard of it, but
I heard about it on the radio many years ago, and
Project Pegasus
Is-
got mentioned in Marvel.
claim that not the Marvel Project Pegasus, that they were experimenting. The U.S. government was experimenting with time travel, and that DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, sent this guy, Andrew Basiago, back in time to Gettysburg.
I remember hearing about that. And isn't there like a picture of him?
Yeah.
At Gettysburg?
There's also a theory that Obama went to Mars as a teen.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, when you're done, I'll talk about it.
There's like lots of fun, there's time travel theories because you'll see there's a photo, a black and white photo of a guy in what looks like modern day sunglasses.
I have seen a lot of those. I honestly 100% believe in time travel.
I think like there was a logical explanation for that one, and it was basically that like some people just dressed like that and sunglasses like that existed back then.
Mm-hmm.
But then there are ones where it's like you see a super old picture of someone like on a cell phone when cell phones shouldn't exist yet.
Yeah, I've seen those. I believe it. Like I like the theory that even though the time isn't really linear, it's like kind of like a pond, and we just are taught to experience it like one day at a time.
Like Jeremy.
The theory about Obama is basically I'm trying to find the actual like where they talk about, because it's related to 2012 and the Planet X and stuff.
Planet X is the one that's behind the sun, right? One of the ones that's behind the sun.
Yeah. It seems that two government employees and self-professed time travelers, Basiago and William Stillings, came forth and named President Obama as one of their own, along with the head of DARPA, Regina Dugan. DARPA was made in the 1970s as Project Pegasus, blah, blah, blah. Can we talk about Obama now, please? Thanks.
Yeah.
He claims that both Obama and Dugan were in their Mars training class at California's College of, big word I can't pronounce, Siskiyous in 1980. It was a group of 10 young adults chosen to travel to Mars via a top-secret teleportation jump room. They claim that the then 19-year-old Barack Obama went by the name Barry Soetoro. But wait, there's more. I love how they wrote this. So they encountered the future president at the secret U.S. base on Mars, which he is said to have visited twice between the years of 1981 and 1983. On one instance, Basiago said that he even exchanged words with Obama in the jump room while on Mars. He said, "We're here," and the supposed reason for the secret teen task force... The supposed reason for the secret teen task force Red Planet expedition was to acclimate Martian humanoids and animals to their presence. The White House obviously denied all allegations. Yeah. There's that. On the topic of the time travel, though, it reminds me of the Philadelphia Project.
I feel like I remember you.
Yes.
They were attempting to supposedly learn how to teleport, and it went horribly wrong. They said that the ship was there. Witnesses say that the ship was there, disappeared. It turned up for a couple seconds where it was supposed to be, and witnesses said they saw it there for a couple seconds, and then it came back, and there was the people in the ship. There were some of them that were dead. They were looked like they were melted. They were fused to the ship's walls. All this crazy shit.
That's the one that really stuck with me.
A few years ago, they were able to teleport like microscopic atoms or something to... They were able to actually teleport something. Like, not theory, like this actually happened.
Yeah.
Like a tiny little thing. They were able to teleport it some distance. Like, I think they teleported up to like a satellite or something in space.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this. I gotta find it.
I believe it, 100%.
Have you guys ever heard of HARP?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. My stepdad highly believes that is a real thing, and it is going on right now.
Well, I'm on the HARP's website.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I don't think this was one of the conspiracies that we wrote down, but I'm just going to briefly mention. I 100% believe that Hurricane Katrina was
Yep. I
made
do
by
too.
HARP.
I do too. HARP is weather control, Shay.
It stands for
High-
High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. Basically, what they do is they study the atmosphere and play with molecules to create weather or try to control weather. And the theory about Hurricane Katrina is that they were trying to create a hurricane and see what would happen if you. Basically, it was an experiment, went 100% wrong. Because they show in the Spike Lee film about Hurricane Katrina that there is a computer program where you can see what a Category 5 hurricane would do to Louisiana, but it's just a computer simulation. Until you give that computer simulation to HARP, and they're like, hold my beer, and then you have Hurricane Katrina.
Yep. It's they think it's responsible for a lot of the weather, the crazy weather we've been having now.
Okay, but can they do it to give Oregon some rain?
No, because that's what exactly what they're trying not to do.
I need it. I need my rain.
Come here,
It's actually
Evelyn.
supposed to rain.
I've actually noticed that, like, as I've gotten older, like, and this is obviously not, I'm not saying this is a conspiracy, this is on climate change in general, but, like, I remember as a kid having thunderstorms in the summer. It was, like, my favorite thing. I looked forward to summer rainstorms. It was a thing. Always. We got one storm this year. One.
It used to rain almost daily during the non-summer months here. And even in the summer, it would still rain a decent amount. But yeah, as I've gotten older, it rains less and less.
Yeah.
And we literally did not get any rain at all from June to August. I'm not exaggerating.
And when I first started high school, I remember in November, December, it would actually be in the 60s consistently. And in the past 10 years, yeah, we're lucky if we get 1 or 2 of those days.
Yeah. Have you ever been on one side of the street and it's raining and the other side's like, I have. I've actually, like, been on the side where it was not raining and then, like, right across the light, like, it was raining.
Fun fact, that is actually, when they talk about a percentage chance of rain, they're not talking about the chance of rain, the entire area is going to get rain. They're talking about the percentage of coverage that your area is going to get.
Yeah.
So if they say 30% chance of rain, that means they're talking 30% of the area is going to be covered.
Yeah.
Not you have a 30% chance of rain.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I learned recently.
I learned that on TikTok.
I found the article about the teleportation.
Yeah.
I get it, girls. I know.
Says quantum teleportation involves two distant entangled particles in which the state of a third particle instantly teleports its state to the two entangled particles. So it's at the quantum level. And last year, this was written in 2020. So in 2019, scientists confirmed that information could be passed between two photons on computer chips, even when the photons were not physically linked.
Nice.
And
I think teleportation will be something in our future.
I mean, if they were able to do it at the quantum level, like, they just have to get bigger. It says teleportation may also be possible between electrons. So that's neat.
I also think, this is my own personal theory, I also think a lot of things that we read about like that, I think we actually already know how to do a lot of things like that. That's like, oh, well, scientists discovered this. I think that they've known it for a long time. This is just when they chose to release it. Like, I think scientifically, we're way fucking ahead of what we actually know. Like, the public actually knows. And I think that they just choose when to release it to the public.
I can believe that.
Well, Adobe came out with a program that they were going to release to the public, Adobe Voco. And basically, it was a voice mimicking program that, other people now you can get Lyrebird or whatever, and there's other voice mimicking programs, but Adobe actually has made the decision to not release it to the general public because it was too good.
Imagine.
It was really too good.
It's crazy.
How